Hi everyone, I am Chun Hao and I am back with another video again. Okay, this video I will do a maths paper. This is the Selangor maths trial for 2025. This is the paper 2. I already did the paper 1. So this video I'll be doing paper 2 lah. Alright, and also if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. Right? Okay, so I'll start now. Okay, I'll skip the formula. Okay, bahagian A, question 1. Diagram 1 shows the dot plot. Okay, dot plot, this one, which chapter? Form 4, and it's the measures of dispersion chapter, right? So Form 4, chapter 8. Yeah. So it's called measures of dispersion for ungrouped data. Okay, ungrouped data. Form 5, chapter 7 is measures of dispersion for group. Okay, but this one is ungrouped. And what's the difference between group data and ungrouped data? For ungrouped data, they don't have class. For group data, they will give you class. Okay, so this one is ungrouped data. Yeah, and dot plot, we use dot plot to draw, present ungroup data. Okay. Okay, and then it says this is the dot plot for 26 students visiting the school library in a week. It means there's total 26. And then A says state the mode. All right, before stating the mode, let's observe the diagram first. Let's observe the dot plot. So as you can see, number of visits, 2, got how many dots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means there's 5 people that visit 2 times. They visit the school library 2 times in a week. And then S- uh for 3 is 1 dot, and then for 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then for 5 got 1, 2, 3, 3. Then is 1, 2, 3, 4 dots here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots here, 2 dots here. All right, tell me what is the number of dot represents. So the number of dot represents how many students visit the library. So if let's say I have 5 dots here, 5 dots in here, that means there's 5 students that visit 4 times the school library. That's what it means. It means the number that I write up here, these are the frequency. Yeah, these are the frequency. The kekerapan. So these are the frequency. So now they say state the mode. Mode means you will choose the data with the highest frequency. So data have the highest frequency is this one, right? The highest frequency. So the mode will be 7. It means 7 is the data that appear the most times because yeah, it has the highest frequency. Yeah, it comes out most times, right? Okay, now for B, they say calculate the mean. All right, the mean formula, you will use this sum of x over n, but there's another formula, mean equals sum of fx over sum of f. And I always teach the same way. I always said, if the data has frequency, use the bawah one. If the data don't have frequency, use the atas punya, right? So tell me, this data has frequency or no frequency? Has frequency, right? And I told you already the number of dots, the number I write here, that's the frequency. So I will use the bawah punya formula. It means I will take the sum of fx divide with the sum of f. Okay. So the mean, I will draw a line here and then I'll put in the mean formula lah. Okay. Okay. So let me make this line black color and make it bigger. All right. So the formula is sum of fx. So what is f? F is the frequency and x is the data. The 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's the x lah, right? So you have to times lah. So 2 times 5 plus with 3. You know why I have to times? Because if the nut it do you know what's the meaning of this? When x is 2, frequency is 5, the meaning is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 5 times like that. And then 3, 1, that means like 3, 1 time. 4, and then the frequency 5 means 4, 4, 4, 4. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah. So that's why instead of taking 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4, instead of doing that, you just take 2 times 5 plus 3 times 1. Yeah, and then plus 4 times 5. Yeah, just do it like that. And yeah, just use this formula lah. Just take the data x times the frequency. Okay, 4 times 5. And then next one is 5 times 3. And then plus with 6 times 4. And then plus with 7 times 6. And then plus with the last one, 8 times 2. And then everything over the total frequency. Okay, the total frequency will be 26. Because you remember just now they said total 26, right? All right, so now you can get the total atas and then divide by 26 lah. Okay, so let me press my calculator. Okay, wait, let me press. All right, 10 plus 3 plus 20 plus 15 plus 24 plus 42 plus 16. Okay, if you press everything up here, you get 130. And then divide by 26, that will give you 5, right? Okay, so that's the B answer lah, right? Okay, that's all for this. I'm done. Okay, question number 2. Okay, this is a bit blur, but I'll tell you the chapter right away. It's Form 4, Chapter 1. How come I know so fast is because of this curve. So this is a quadratic curve. It's called parabola, and yeah, it's a quadratic. So definitely it's from 4 chapter 1. Okay, so it's a bit blur, but I'll try my best to read it. Diagram 2 shows graph of quadratic function. Okay, I think this one is fx equals, okay, it should be negative x squared because it's a set phase, and then plus I think it's 6x, and then minus k. Yeah, I feel like that's what they are writing. And then based on diagram 3, this diagram, what is the value of k? So it means want to find k lah. So question A nak cari k. Alright, so A, how to find k? Actually, it's very simple because from your equation, you can see the k is referring to this k here, right? And you can see from the equation, your c is negative k, right? So when you take out the c from your quadratic function, it's negative k. And c will tell you the y-intercept. And if you look carefully at the diagram, they give you this one is 2, this one is 4, and this one is negative 8, right? So 2 and 4 is the x-intercept, and negative 8 is the y-intercept. And since the negative k is the y-intercept, right? So this is the y-intercept from your equation, and this is the y-intercept from your graph. So that means negative k equals negative 8 lah, and then k equals to 8. Because when you pindah negative, you tukar tanda, right? So that's how you do it. So understand, So just take the c, which is the y-intercept, equals to the y-intercept in the graph. Then you can do it already. Okay, next one, B. Determine the coordinates of the maximum point for the quadratic function. So they are asking you to find maximum point. Okay, to find maximum point, first you need to get the x coordinate and the y coordinate. Yeah, the x coordinate of the turning point and the y coordinate, right? And it's talking about this point, right? So how do you find the x coordinate and how do you find the y coordinate? Well, actually, there's two methods. For the x coordinate, one of the way you can do it is you take the x1 plus x2 divide 2. Yeah, you take the roots, or you can say take the both the x-intercept plus together divide by 2. And when you do that, you will dapat you punya axis of symmetry. Yeah. So, all right, let me just write nicely. So the x coordinate will be this line right here, right? Will be here, okay? And it means you're trying to find the axis of symmetry lah. And the formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Okay, that's how you find the axis of symmetry. Okay, you can take 2 plus 4 divided by 2. Another method you can do it is you use x equals negative b over 2a. If you do it like this also, you will get the same answer. Right? You get the same answer. But I think I will just do it like this lah for this question because they already give us the 2x-intercept here, 2 and 4. So it's very convenient for me to just put it in this. So I will just write here the axis of symmetry, x equals 2 plus 4 divided 2. And that will give you 3. That means the axis of symmetry will cut the x-axis at 3. It means the maximum point x coordinate is also 3, right? And then how to get the y coordinate? You just sub inside lah. Yeah, just sub inside the equation, then you can get your y coordinate. So I don't have enough space. So what? I'll just continue from here lah. So it becomes f bracket 3 equals to, I'm referring here, negative bracket square plus 6x minus k, and then the x is 3 like this. Okay, 3 square is 9, so negative 9 plus 6 and 3 is 18 minus k. And then, wait, k is 8, right? Yeah, k I already know it is 8. So I should masukkan dia dapat negative 8. Yeah, because k is positive 8. So negative k is negative 8 lah. So it becomes like this. Okay, negative 9 plus 18 is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. So that's your y coordinate. So now you have your x and y coordinate. Now you can write maximum point. And then when you write point, you usually write in bracket like this. The x coordinate is 3, the y coordinate is 1. Okay, that's all. Okay, if you want to use the second method, can also. Negative b over 2a. And then the b you masuk 6, the a you masuk negative 1 lah. But you get the same answer also. You get 3 also. Okay. But usually I will not use this formula when they give when they give us the roots. Okay. So usually when will we use this? When will we use the negative b over 2a? When the soalan punya curve tak ada roots. Yeah, because there are times where the curve doesn't touch the x-axis. It means it has no roots, no x-intercept. Then kita terpaksa guna the negative b over 2a formula already. Yeah, because if the quadratic function don't have roots, then I cannot use this formula, right? It's not possible. Yeah, because it has no roots. Other quadratic curve yang tak ada roots. Okay, so for those cases, you use the negative BO2A formula. So make sure you know both lah. All right, I'm done with this question. That's all. So let's continue. Okay, number three, calculate the number of triangles formed for 12-sided polygon. All right, I think I know what it means. So what it's trying to say here is if it has 12 sides, how many number of triangles I can form by joining the diagonal. Yeah, so I think the question here it means number of triangles formed by jo- by joining diagonals. Yeah, by joining diagonals for 12-sided polygon. So let me just talk about what if it's a 5-side polygon first. So I will draw a 5-side polygon, and then I'll draw a 6-side polygon, right? And then this one I'll draw a 8-side polygon, right? So this is 8 side. All right. So this one the n is 5, n is 5, and then this one is n is 6. This one n is 8. So how many triangles I can form by joining diagonals? So what you can do is when you draw diagonal, you have to draw from corner to corner, but you cannot draw to this corner because diagonal is the line in between. Yeah. So you have to join it like this to this line and to this line. And as you can see, when you join it like this, you will form how many triangle? 3 triangle. Okay. But for n equals 6, so for this hexagon, when you join diagonal, it will be this one to this one to this one, and you get how many triangle? 4 triangles. 4 triangles. And then for 8 sides, you will join diagonal, it will be like this. So you get 1 triangle. Join like this, you get the second one, and then like this, like this, like this. Right? So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 triangles. So now, imagine you have 12-sided polygon. How many triangle you have? The formula you will use will be n minus 2. And the n you will masuk 12. So it will be 12 minus 2 and it will give you 10 triangles. Okay. The reason you do n minus 2 is because when there's 5 sides, you have 3 triangle. 6 sides, you have 4. 8 sides, you have 6. It means the number of triangle is always the number of side minus 2. You see, 5 minus 2 will give you 3. 6 minus 2 give you 4. 8 minus 2 will give you 6. So you always minus 2 to get the number of triangle. That's why if you have 12 side, you minus 2, you get 10. That means you can form a 10 triangle for 12 side. I'm not gonna draw it lah because it will take a lot of time and 12-sided is like a bit hard to draw. So that's why I didn't draw it. I just show you using the 5 side, 6 side, and 8 side to make you understand. So I will just do it like this lah. And also it's only worth 1 mark. Yeah. So this is how you do it lah. Alright. Hope you understand. So just remember, if you want to form triangle inside the polygon, just take number of side minus 2. Just take n minus 2. And then you will get the number of triangles. Alright, that's it. Okay, B diagram 3 shows a triangle KLM. Okay, I can see it's a triangle. Okay, find the value of X. So I think it's referring to this X and also this X lah. Okay, we have very limited information. So let me think. All right, this is angle inside the triangle X, and then the angle inside here we actually don't know. The angle inside here also we don't know. So how do we do this? All right, can we find this angle? Yes, just take 180 minus this, right? Yeah, so you can take 180 minus x plus 20. So I'm going to do my working here. 180 minus x plus 20. But be careful, because this x plus 20 has 2 terms. And when you minus with 2 terms, you have to open bracket. And then when you open the bracket, you become minus x minus 20. So it becomes 60 minus x. So you get 60 minus x. And I can do the same to get this angle here. And then afterwards, take all these 3 angles, tambah dapat 180. Yeah, because the triangle when you take all the inside angle tambah, you should get 180. So that's the plan now. So how to get this angle? Same thing, 180 minus, okay, the 6x plus 4 has 2 terms. And when you minus with 2 terms, have to put bracket. So it becomes 180 minus 6x minus 4. So you get 180 minus 4. So you get 176 minus 6x. So that's the angle here. Now what you do is you take these 3 angles plus together and you should get 180, right? Yeah. So x plus with 60 minus x. Okay, this one no need bracket. Because when you plus with 2 terms, the bracket you can just remove it. Yeah, because it's plus ma. But if you minus with two terms, then the bracket is very important lah. But plus you can just skip the bracket. And then plus with 176 minus 6x equals to 180. Okay, x minus x can cut, left with, so it becomes 0. And then negative 6x, I'll leave it here. Okay, I'm trying to find x. So what I'll do, okay, number dengan number boleh buat 60 plus 176, 236, and then 180, I leave it here. And since I'm trying to find x, I will try to jadikan x single. So 236 pindah sana jadi minus 180 minus 236. Let me press negative 56. And then pindah negative. When you pindah negative, the negative become positive. And then 56 divided by 6, I get 9.3. Okay, I feel like I made some mistake. Wait, let me check. Oh, this one is 160. Oh my god. Oh my god. 180 minus 20 is 160, right? Okay, what about this? Is this correct? 180 minus 4. Okay, this one is correct. So I made a careless mistake. So let me correct myself here. So this one should be 160, right? So this one is wrong. This value is wrong already. And this one automatic wrong also, wrong also. Okay, so let me betulkan. This one is 160. So it becomes 160 plus 176. So you will get, let me press again. So, okay, I got 336. And then now 336 pindah sana jadi minus. And 180 minus 336, you get negative 156. And then now you pindah the negative, become positive 156. So your x will be 156 divided by 6, which is 26. So that is your x answer, right? Okay, that's all for this question. Okay, there's actually another method to do it. The other method I'll show you now. Okay, I'll use red color. Huh? Okay, so what I did just now, I tried to find all the inside angle, and then all the inside angle tambah dapat 180, right? But there's another method, which is you use the outside angle. You use the outside angle, and the outside angle is called exterior angle. And the sum of exterior angle is always 360. The sum of exterior angle is always 360. And what is exterior angle? Sudut dekat luar. So when you panjangkan this line, panjangkan this line, panjangkan this line, the exterior angle will be this, this, and this. And how you get the exterior angle is it's actually the interior angle 180 minus the interior angle. Yeah, because that's how you get exterior angle. So you have the exterior angle here already, this one and this one, right? And you can see this one, the exterior angle is 180 minus x. So the other way to do it is you take 180 minus x plus with x plus 20 plus with 6x plus 4 equals to 360. Because the sum of exterior angle is always 360. Yeah, doesn't matter how many side, it will always be 360 exterior lah. If interior, it will be different depending on the number of side. Uh, if three side, then the interior angle, sum of interior angle will be 180. But if it's four side, then it will be different. It will be 360, right? But exterior angle, the sum of exterior angle is always 360 for for doesn't matter how many sides the polygon have. Okay, negative x plus x is 0, 6x I can leave it. 180 plus 20 is 200 plus 4 is 204 equals to 360. And then 6x equals 360 minus 204. So what you get, let me press. So I get 156. And as you can see, the x answer comes out the same. So you can do it like this also can, like this also can, up to you, right? The first method is use the interior angle and then take the sum of interior angle equals 180. The other method is use the exterior angle, but if you use the exterior angle, the sum of exterior angle should be 360. Okay. All right. So I explained both lah, because I think it's important to understand about the exterior angle also. Yeah, so I explained both so that you faham both. All right. So you can choose one of these working to do it. All right. That's all. Okay, number 4. Diagram 4 shows a straight line AC lies on the Cartesian plane. So we can see AC line. Okay, point B is in the middle and they got put these two lines. What's the meaning of this? It means the panjang here and the panjang here is exactly the same. So B is exactly in the middle, is exactly half of the AC. So that means the ratio is 1, 1, and also point B is the midpoint. Yeah, this is the midpoint. And that means we can use the midpoint formula to find point B, right? And then we have a random point D here. So now we read the question, find A, the coordinate of point B. Yeah, this one you have to use the midpoint formula. So midpoint equals, the formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. That's how you find midpoint, okay? So to find point B, I simply take point A and point C plus together divide by 2. Okay, let's take the x coordinate first. So 5 plus 1, and then y coordinate will be 7 plus 1 like this. So you get 6 over 2, which is 3. 7, 8 over 2 is 4. So that's your point B, 3, 4. So done part A. Now for B, find the equation of straight line that is parallel to line AC and passes through point D. Okay, whenever you want to find equation in maths, you will do this formula y equals mx plus c. Okay, why I say in maths is because for maths student, they got learn another formula to find equation, right? But I will not mention about that formula because this is a maths paper and you cannot use the maths method to do it here, right? So this is the method y equals mx plus c, and you need to find the m and c lah. So you need the gradient and also you need the cy intercept. Okay, okay. So they said the equation of straight line you're finding is parallel to AC. In other words, the line will be parallel to this line, and also it will passes through point D. So your line will be like this. Yeah, this is your line. It's passing through point D, right? It passes through point D, and at the same time it's parallel to this line, right? So when two lines are parallel, it means they will have the same gradient. So what we can do is we can find the gradient of AC and use that for the gradient here. Okay, so let's find out the gradient AC. Because parallel means the both lines gradient will be same, parallel. M1 equals M2. So I'll find the gradient of AC. So I can take y minus y, 7 minus 1 over x minus x. That's the formula for gradient. 7 minus 1 is 6, 5 minus 1 is 4. So you get 3 over 2. Okay, if the gradient of AC is 3 over 2, the gradient of this line right here will be 3 over 2 also. Okay, so now you can sub inside this equation y equals to m. The m is 3 over 2x. Now the next part is to find c. Okay, how do you find c? First is you use your eyes to check whether they got give you the c or not. Okay, c is the y-intercept. So you can see that this line, the y-intercept is actually, you have to extend the line down here, and then you have to extend the y-axis, and then the y-intercept is like somewhere here. And yeah, they never give us. Okay, they never tell us. All right, so if you use your eyes and look for the y-intercept, and if you don't get the y-intercept just by looking, then you can use another way, which is you substitute satu point yang ada passes through. Yeah, you substitute the xy inside here, but make sure you substitute with a point yang ada passes through the line. Okay, so tell me which point passes through this line. There's only one point you can choose, point D53. Okay, because this is the only point that passes through this point, passes through this line. So what you can do for the C, I'll just write C like this, and then I'll write PT. PT stands for passes through, and then I'll write 5, 3. Yeah, because the line passes through 5, 3, and then the X you substitute with 5 later, and then the 3 you sub with Y lah. So it becomes y becomes 3 equals 3 over 2 bracket x plus c, and then the x is 5. And let me tell you one more time, why you can substitute this point inside like that is because this point got passes through this line. And kalau dia ada passes through, memang you boleh ganti masuk macam tu. So it becomes 3 equals to 15 over 2 plus c. And this part you can use your calculator. 3 minus 15 over 2, negative 9 over 2. Okay, yeah, just use your calculator to help you. All right, when you reach here, now you can write your c inside here, and the equation answer will be y equals 3 over 2x plus c, and your c is negative 9 over 2. So this is your equation, right? And you write in the y equals mx plus c format lah. Okay, okay, so done with my b. That's all. Okay, number 5. This is definitely from 4 chapter 6, the linear inequality chapters. In Bahasa Melayu, it's called ketaksamaan linear. So this chapter you will learn about the bigger, smaller. Yeah, you will have the bigger, smaller symbol lah, inequalities. Okay, diagram 5 shows a system of linear inequalities on a Cartesian plane. So they actually already shade the region for you. Yeah. So this shaded region is surrounded by three lines. Okay. So what they want to do, soalan A, write 3 linear inequalities that satisfy the shaded region. Okay, for the easy question, okay, not easy lah. For the normal question, they will always give you the inequality and you have to sketch and shade the region yourself. But this question is different. They already shade the region. This would have shade siap, and you have to convert back to the linear inequalities. All right. So before I start, I would want to tell you some basics first. So if your line is like this, horizontal, and then the shaded region atas is for bigger, bawah is for smaller, right? But if your line is vertical, the right side is for the bigger, and then left side is for smaller. And if your line is sengit like this, or maybe sengit like this, atas is bigger or smaller? The atas punya region is bigger punya, is for big when it's bigger, and then bawah is smaller. Same with the sengit like that. It's also atas bigger, bawah smaller. So you have to know this first, right? So tell me now, for this line right here, later I have to write bigger or smaller? Smaller, because this line is horizontal line and the shaded region is atas ke bawah garisan? Is bawah garisan ni. So it's below this line, so it's smaller. Then what about this line? This line is a second line and look at the shaded region. It's above the line. So later this one have to write bigger. Now for the last line, bigger or smaller? Bigger. Okay, because it's a second line and the shaded region is above the line. So again, this one smaller, this one bigger, this one bigger. But now I cannot write the smaller bigger first because I don't have the equation of the line. So my job now is to find out the equation of these three lines first, right? So how to find out the equation of this line? Let's find the equation of this line. Okay, this is a horizontal line. So for horizontal line, the equation will be y equals number. Yeah, y equals number, and the number you will just check dekat mana dia potong y axis. So dia potong dekat 6, so the equation is y equals 6. Yeah, that's all. For horizontal line dia tak ada y equal mx plus c, it's just y equals number saja, right? So that's your first equation. Now for the next equation is this line right here. Okay, this is a second line. For second line, it will be y equal mx plus c. Yeah, it will be y equal mx plus c. Yeah, because it's a second line. Okay, if tak ada second, if horizontal vertical, then it's just y equals number. Kalau horizontal y equals number lah, kalau vertical x equals number. Yeah, because kalau vertical dia potong x axis mah. So it's x equals number. Okay. Alright, so now my job is to find this. So I need my gradient and c. Okay, c I don't have to find it, it's 4. Right? So I can just erase the c and write 4 already because I can use my eyes can see it already. The y-intercept is 4. I just need the gradient now. So the gradient I will choose any 2 points on this line and then use the formula y minus y over x minus x. Okay, I will choose this point 0, 4. And another point that passes through, I will choose 4, 0. So the formula will be y minus y, 4 minus 0 over x minus x, 0 minus 4. So you get negative 1. So the equation of line comes out already, y equals mx plus c, so negative x plus 4. All right, I have this line equation, which is y equals 6. And then this line also, I find it just now already, y equals negative x plus 4. And for the final line, oh, they already find for me. They already write it here, so I don't have to find it myself. So it's y equals x plus 2. Okay, now that I already have the three equation, now it's time to convert to the inequality. It means I have to write the bigger, smaller. Okay, let's start with the first one. Uh, okay, so I'm gonna, okay, how? Okay, so I'll just write here for the final answer. Okay, so the first one, y equals 6. So instead of writing equal, what you have to write? Okay, this line, I told you already, the shaded region is below this line. So you have to write smaller, right? And also it's a dash line. Dash line ataupun dotted line. So if it's a dash line or dotted line, you will not put the equals here. So it will just be y smaller than 6. Okay, next one. Y negative x plus 4. So the negative, what you have to do with the negative? So negative lah. What you have to do with the equal? So negative x plus 4 will be which line? This line, right? So tell me, this line you have to write bigger or smaller? Bigger, because the shaded region is above the line. Shaded region dia duduk atas garisan. So you have to write bigger. But this time you have to equal because it's a solid line. Okay, because it's a solid line, right? And of course, you are done with that. Now, for the last one is the y equal x plus 2. So y equal x plus 2 is this line right here. And the shaded region is atas garisan. So I have to write bigger and I have to put equal because it's a solid line, right? So the soalan asked me to do what? Write three inequalities. So these are the three inequalities. The first one, the second one, the third one. So that's how you do it, right? Okay, but of course you have to show this working also, huh? All right. Okay, so now I'm done. Now let's do B. From the graph, state the range of x if y equals to 4. So if you want to find the range of x, it means you need to find the x minimum value and the x maximum value. Okay, but you have to go to y-axis 4 first. So I write here when y equals 4, and then find the x minimum and the x maximum. All right, so if you go to the y-axis, cari 4, it will be here, right? And what is the x minimum? 0 lah. Because x minimum means you take the first contact point with the shaded region. But you can see when the y equals 4, this is the first contact point already. You don't have to go left or go right. This is the first contact point with the shaded region. So the minimum, this is already the minimum. So you just start it bawah and you get your x minimum 0. To get the x maximum, you have to move to the right until the last contact point with shaded region. So this is the last time I mean the last contact point with the shaded region. If you keep going, it's already outside the shaded region already. So you have to make sure it's the last contact point with shaded region and then tarik bawah. So the maximum is 2. Okay, one more thing I want to mention. Whenever you do this kind of question, make sure the dotted line, when you stop here, make sure when you tarik bawah, this line is not a dash line. Because if this is a dash line, then you cannot take this answer already. Yeah, because if this is a dash line means what? It means dia bigger sahaja. Dia tak boleh bigger equals. Dia tak boleh sama dengan. Dia tak boleh equals. It means you have to take maybe one box before it. Okay. Okay, but this one I have no problem lah because it's a solid line. So if it's solid line means it's bigger, it can be bigger or equals. So if the point is on the line, you can take it also. So it's 2 lah. But the soalan asks for range. So for range, you have to write like this. You have to write in this format. Range equals x in between, and then for here you have to write the minimum. Here you have to write the maximum. The small number always right here, the big number right here. Yeah, that is why just now I said when the soalan asks for range of x, you have to find minimum and maximum. This is why lah, because you want to write in this format. So the range of x is x between 0 and 2. Okay, that's all. Hope you understand. Okay, number 6. This is a lower form chapter. Yeah, this chapter you learn in form 1, form 2, form 3, and it's about the finding the arc and the area of sector. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the formula first. Okay, so let's read the question first lah. Diagram 6 shows a circle with center O. Alright, so this is the center. OAC is an equilateral triangle with a perimeter 48. So OAC is this triangle and it's a equilateral. Equilateral means all three sides same length. So if all three sides same length, the three angle will be same size also. And for triangle, the sum of all three angles is 180. So you can take 180 divide 3, you get 60, 60, 60 lah, right? And also they say the perimeter is 48. So it means OA plus AC plus OC, these three sides tambah is 48. But since all three sides is sama panjang, you can just take 48 divide by 3 to get the OA. Yeah. So you tekan this, you get 16 cm. And guess what? OA is 16, OC is also 16, BC is also 16. Right? Okay, now A says state the radius of circle. This is the answer. Because the radius is OA. Yeah. So that's the A answer. Done. So now we can do B. So B, I think B1, they want what? Okay, let me scroll here. So use pi 2207, find the area of sector OABC in cm squared. So this formula, you have to use the area sector formula. Okay, so the area of sector formula is pi r square times theta over 360. Yeah, this is the formula you learn in lower form. So in bahasa Melayu is pi j kuasa 2 darab dengan sudut per 360 lah. Okay, okay, pi they already use 22/7, and then the radius is 16, and then the theta will be what? Okay, they want sector OABC. So let me highlight it for you. So the sector that we are finding now is this right here. This one, this one, this one. So it's the minor sector, not the major sector. It's the minor one because OABC. So it has to pass through B. So it's not the major one. So this is the sector you are finding. So the angle will be at the center here, 60 over 360. Okay. And then the radius is 16. Yeah. All right. So now we can press this in the calculator. Then we will get our final answer. So what's the answer? 134.10 cm square. Okay. Now let's see what's the next question. Calculate the area of shaded region in cm square. All right. So how do you find the area of shaded region? Okay, the shaded region is here, here, right? And if you got take at maths, there's a name for this shape. So what do we call this shape? This shape is called a segment. In BM, it's called tembereng. Okay? What is a segment? Segment is the region between arc and the chord. In between arc and chord, that region in between, that's what we call segment. Okay. But this is mathematics, so you cannot use the NMAX formula to do it. So the way to do it is like this. To find the area of this shaded region, or you can say area of segment, you first find the area of sector and then minus the area of triangle. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay. So I'll write here area of shaded region. First, you take area of sector, which I already find 134.10, but you have to minus with the area of this triangle. Yeah, the equilateral triangle. Because sector, when you minus triangle, then you get this region down here. Okay. Okay, how to find area of triangle? Okay, the formula you use is 102 times base times height, but this is not a right angle triangle. So you cannot tell me 102 times 16 times 16. No, that's wrong. So when you do 102 times base times height, you have to make sure the base and height is perpendicular to each other. Right? It has to be 90 degree. That means you cannot take 16 16 because these 16 16 they are not 90 degree, they are 60 degree. So for the base you can take 16, for the base you can 16, but the height you cannot take this, and you also cannot take this. You must take the middle one, the perpendicular height. It means I have to cut this in half. And what happens when you cut this in half? All right, this two side is sama panjang. So when you cut it middle like this, definitely you will get two right angle triangle with the same size. So the 60 will end up cutting in half, become 30 30. And then the 16 will also end up cutting in half, become 8 8. And then this is still 16. So how do you find the panjang here? Use Pythagoras theorem lah. Or you want to use Sokato also can. Because you have the angle, right? So you can do maybe like tangent 30 equals 8 over x, and then x is this. Or you want to use cos also can. Cos 30 equals adjacent, which is x over hypotenuse 16. Yeah, can also. But I will do Pythagoras theorem. So how to use Pythagoras theorem? Okay, you already have the two sides for the right angle triangle. You're trying to find the remaining side. So you do Pythagoras theorem. Square root bracket square. Sini tulis 16, sini tulis 8. All right, plus or minus? Minus, because you are not finding the longer side. Okay, you will only plus when you are finding the longer side of the right angle triangle, and the longer side is the one opposite 90, the hypotenuse. So this is not the longer side, so you just minus lah. Okay, now you can press 16 square minus 8 square, and then square root the whole thing. So write in decimal. So I'll write 4 significant figure, so it's 13.86. Okay, now with this, now I know already the vertical perpendicular height is 13.86. So now the answer will be 134.10 minus, okay, now find the area of triangle lah. Okay, 16 divided 2 is 8. So I'll use the answer button. So it will be answer times 8. So I got 110.85. Okay, 110.85. And then for the last step, 134.10 minus answer. And I will use the answer button because it will be more accurate if I use the answer button. Okay, 23.248. So I can write 23.225. Okay, I always prefer writing 4 significant figures. So 25 cm square. Okay. All right. So I think that's all for this question. How many marks? 1 mark, 2 mark, 2 marks. So 5 marks for this. All right. Not too bad. That's all. Okay. For number 7, I will do it up here. So this is from 4 chapter 3. It's called logical reasoning. Dalam bahasa Melayu, penakkunan logik. Okay, state whether the compound statement in diagram 7 is true or false. Okay, what is compound statement? Compound statement means you take two statements and you combine them. And when you combine them, you will use the word and ataupun or to combine. Okay. So what is compound statement? Pernyataan majmuk is what? Compound statement, pernyataan majmuk is when you take two statements and then you combine them using the word and ataupun or. Okay. So as you can see, there is two statements here. First statement is this one. Second statement is this one. And they combine using the word and lah. Okay, so you want to state whether the compound is true or false. Okay. All right. If you combine using the word or, then it will be true if one of it is true. Okay, because if you use the word or, one of the statement is true, then the whole thing is true already. Okay, but if you use the word and, both the statement has to be true, then only it will be true. Yeah, because and means dia kena dua-dua true baru boleh the compound statement jadi true. Okay, if one of it is false, then the whole thing false already. Okay, tapi kalau or, if or is like, okay lah, one of it true, then the whole thing true already. Yeah, because or is like a bit cincai lah. It's like or atau mah, so satu true then can already. But and is dia kena dua-dua true baru boleh jadi true. Alright, so let's check whether this is true or not. 3 power negative 1 power. This is true. Yeah, this is true. You can use your calculator to press also. But let me tell you why I know it's true. It's because you learn this in indices. When the power is negative, you can letak bawah, and when you letak bawah, the power become positive. And then nothing here means 1 over 3 lah. So this is true. Okay, the next one, 3 is a factor of 18. Is this true? Yes. 3 is a factor of 18. Yeah, this is true also. Okay. What is factor, guys? Okay, when we want to list down the factor of 18 means we have to think about what number times what number gives us 18. So we have 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, and then 4 tak ada, 5 tak ada, 6 times 3 and 3 times 6 sudah sama lah. So what is the factor of 18? These are all the factors of 18. 1, 2, 3, 9, 6. So as you can see, 3 is indeed factor of 18. So it means both this statement is true. And when both statement is true, and you combine using the word and, it will be true. So I will write here the final answer is true. Okay? So when both statement is true, you doesn't matter you combine using the word and or, it will be true in the end. Okay? But if it's one true, one false, then you have to be careful lah. If it's one true, one false, then you have to check the middle word. If the middle word is and, if it's and then one true, one false, then it will become false. But if it's one true, one false, but middle is or, then it will be true. Okay. Okay. So hope you understand. Okay. B, they says write a contrapositive for the implication in diagram 8. So this one you have to memorize the format. So I write the format up here. So for implication format, it's always if P then Q. Okay. If P then Q. And then for converse, in Bahasa Melayu is akas. Converse is akas. The formula is if Q then P. Okay. And then the next one is inverse. Inverse dia punya format is if not P, then not Q. Inverse in BM is called songsang. Songsang. Okay, the last one is contrapositive. In Bahasa Melayu is called contrapositive also. And the format is if not Q, then not P. Yeah, so you all have to make sure you remember this lah. Yeah. Alright, so one more time. If converse, take your PQ tukar tempat. If inverse, don't tukar tempat but do negation. If not P, then not Q. This is the meaning of doing negation. And then contrapositive, you have to tukar tempat and then do negation. So if not Q, then not P. Okay, this question asked me to write contrapositive, right? And then they already give us the implication in this diagram. So my job now is to highlight the P and Q first. So if 2 is factor of 8, then 8 is divisible by 2. So this is definitely the P, right? And then this is the Q. So this is the P, this is the Q. But I'm trying to write contrapositive. So I have to write if, okay, according to the format is, for contrapositive, the format is if not Q, then not P, right? Yeah, I already remember it lah. So you all students have to make sure you remember this also. If not Q, then not P. So what I have to do, I have to write Q now, but I have to do negation. So 8 is divisible by 2 so this is an English sentence. So when you do negation, you can use the word no ataupun not to change the true value. Okay, so 8 is divisible by 2. This is this is true. Yeah, but when you do negation, you will change the true value. So you will write 8 is not divisible by 2. Because when you letak the perkataan not there, then the true value change already. Yeah, so it will change from true to false lah. 8 is not divisible by 2. Yeah, this is false. Okay, if not Q, then I have to write P now, but do negation. 2 is factor of 8. This is true, by the way. But you want to do negation now. So you have to do negation. So what you do, right? 2 is not a factor of 8 lah. Yeah, that's how you change the true value of a sentence. You just put the word no ataupun not inside, then yeah, change already. But make sure you put it at the right place also lah. You don't go and put not 2 is factor of 8. The one like the grammar sudah salah. So 2 is factor of 8. So the negation will be 2 is not factor of 8. Okay, let me double check whether the soalan asked for this. So write a contrapositive. So that's the answer lah. That's all. Okay, why I'm checking the question is because sometimes they will, after they write the contrapositive, they will ask you to determine the true value. Okay, yeah, but this question never asked for that lah. Okay, let's just assume the soalan asked to determine the true value. So let's say that the question asks you to write contrapositive and then asks you to write the true value. What will you write the true value? Will be true or false? Okay, it will be true, right? Because this one is false. This one is also false. So if false, then false, in the end it will become true. Yeah, for implication is like that. It will be when it for implication, kalau dia ada if then, it will always be true. It will always be true. Even if it's false, also it will also be true. Except when P is true, Q is false. Except when this one is true, this one is false. Then it will be false. The rest all will be true. Okay. Yeah. This one also not many students know. So that's why I'm mentioning it now to you. So hopefully you guys remember this. Okay, I'll just erase all the all the stuff, because the question never asked for that. So make sure you know how to determine the true value for implication. Okay. All right. Uh, what about the A just now? The A, they asked to determine true value, right? But this one is different. This one is compound statement. For compound statement, cara kita tengok true false is different with the, this one is compound statement, this one is implication. So cara kita tengok true false is not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, this one is kalau n kena dua-dua true baru boleh true. Kalau or satu true then true, right? But for the implication is different. Okay, so hopefully you know how to determine for both. Okay, now for the last part, I'll do C. Make a general conclusion by induction for the sequence of numbers 6, 22, 48, 84, which follows the following pattern. Okay, the answer, we will not look at it. Yeah, this is the answer. So we'll just look at how to get the answer, how to get a 6. So 5 times 1 square plus 1. And then the next one, 5 times 2 square plus 2. Next one, 5 times 3 square plus 3, 5 times 4 square plus 4. So when you make a conclusion, means you are trying to make a formula. You are trying to generalize. Okay, you're trying to generalize and you're trying to make a formula from this sequence. So you can see all this number, you have to take 5 times something square, 5 times something square, 5 times something square. 5. So when you generalize, when you want to get the formula, it will be 5 times bracket square also. But the number inside the bracket change from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that one you can write n. And if you can see this one plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 here also, the number here is same with the number here. So it means if this is n, then this should be plus n also lah. So that's your answer lah. 5n square plus n. Okay, one more thing I want to mention. You have to make sure the n has to be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the n can only be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 0, 1, 2, 3. Dia tak boleh jadi, dia tak boleh 2, 4, 4, 6, 8. Cannot. If it's like that, means you have to pecahkan lagi. You have to pecahkan lagi. You have to maybe, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's the multiple of 2 ma. So you should become what? 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3. Like that. And then instead of writing n, you write 2n lah. Because your n go from 1 to 2 to 3. Okay, so just remember, the n has to always be what? 1, 2, 3, 4 or 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. So, and then you have to write this beside 5n squared plus n, and then use this symbol, and then write n equals 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4. Okay, yeah, like this, right? So remember, the n has to be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it cannot be 2, 4, 6 or 3, 5, 7, or it cannot be 6, 22, 48. Cannot. Okay, dia kena 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, hope you understand. That's all. Okay, number 8. What chapter is this? Form 4, chapter 5 is called the graph theory chapter, right? Network in graph theory. Okay, diagram 9 shows a graph with a loop and multiple edges. It means this is not a simple graph. Yeah, it's not a simple graph. Because simple graph means the graph don't have loops, multiple edges. So if the graph have loop, multiple edges, means it's not a simple graph. Dia bukan graph mudah. Okay, so where's the loops? Here, right? There's one loop here. And then where's the multiple edges? This one is the multiple edges. Okay, now soalan number 1, they say state the V. Okay, V means vertices. It means dia nak awak senaraikan dia punya bucu. So the bucu you already label with V1, V2, V3, V4. So that's the bucu lah, V1, V2, V3, V4. But make sure you open the curly bracket. Because when you senaraikan the V1 by 1 like this, it means you are writing in set notation. So you have to open the curly bracket. Okay, that's all. Number 2, state the sum of degrees of the graph. Okay, this is like the third time I see this question already. Yeah, I see this. They asked in another state already. I forgot whether it's the Penang state or the Kelantan state paper. I forgot. But they asked this quite a few times already. The sum of degree. If they don't ask in paper 2, they will ask in paper 1. Yeah. So make sure you know how to find the sum of degree lah. Okay, the sum of degree of all vertices, you can use the formula 2 times NE. NE means the number of edges. So you can use this formula to get the sum of degree. Okay, number of edges we can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, for this, we count it as one edge. So it will be 6. So the answer is 12. Okay. So loops, when we want to count edges, for loop, we only count 1. Okay. But if you want to count degree for loop, we count it 2. Yeah, because degree means how many line connected to that vertex. So it's considered 2 degree. But when we try to count how many edges for loop, we only count 1. So this is the answer. Okay, if you don't want to do it, okay, this is the fast way to do it, right? Another way to double check your answer is you can find the degree of vertex separately, one by one, and then plus. So how to find degree of vertex? Just go to this vertex and see how many line is connected to that vertex. So you have one, two, and then for this vertex will be one, two, three. So it will be one, two, three, four, five, and then for the next vertex 6, 7, 8. And then for this vertex, 9, 10, 11, 12. So as you can see, the sum of degree of all vertex is 12. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Okay, hope you understand. This is easy, that's all. Okay, there's still a B question. Diagram 10 shows an undirected weighted graph. Undirected means dia punya graph tak ada direction. So it's not one way lah. And then weighted graph means the edges of the graph will be assigned with a value. There will be value for every edge. And usually the value will represent some information. Maybe distance, maybe price, maybe something lah. So it will represent something. So now number one says draw a tree with a minimum total weight. So I realized something. They actually very sangat suka tanya ini tree. Yeah, they ask a lot, so many times. Because I do a lot of prior papers, so I know about what they like to ask. So this tree memang dia suka tanya. They ask in paper 1 also, paper 2 also. Alright, tree, you have to hafal the 4 characteristic. In okay, so first, let's talk about tree. So tree is a subgraph. Okay, it's a subgraph. So what's the meaning of subgraph? Subgraph means it's part of the graph or the whole graph redrawn. It means the question will give you a master graph. So for this question, this is the master graph, right? And when you draw tree, you have to make sure the tree has to be a subgraph. And what is subgraph? It means it has to be part of this graph, or it can also be the whole graph. Exactly the whole graph. Yeah. Yeah, but you have to make sure it's the subgraph lah. Tree, it has to be a subgraph. And also it has 4 characteristics. It has to be a simple graph. First of all, it has to be simple. It means no loops, no ME, multiple edges. Second one is the all vertices must be connected. It means cannot have isolated vertex. Tak boleh ada satu bucu yang tak ada line join. Third characteristic is the NE must be NV minus 1. Number of edges always number of vertex minus 1. And then the last one is no cycle. Okay, so come again. What is the tree? What is tree? Okay, tree has to be a subgraph. Okay, and what is subgraph? Part of the graph or the whole graph redrawn. It means they will give you a master graph, and then you have to make sure the tree is part of the master graph lah, or it can be the whole graph also can. Just make sure dia ada ikut empat ni lah. It has to be simple graph, all vertices connected, and then NE, NV minus 1, and then no cycle. Okay, alright, so now we can start to draw the tree. So they want to draw a tree, but they got say has to be minimum total weight. So I'll draw it here. So the method I teach my student is I will ask them to count got how many vertex first. Yeah, that's how I teach my student. So count got how many vertex? 1, 2, 3, 4. So tell me if there is 4 vertex, how many edges you should have for it to be a tree? So if your NV is 4, what should be your NE for it to be a tree? Yeah, for it to be considered tree, how much should your number of edges be? It should be 3, right? Because of this formula. NE is NV minus 1. So if your NV is 4, the NE must be 3. But it's not 3 now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, your NE is 5. But you want it to be 3. So tell me, 5 minus berapa dapat 3? Minus 2, right? So that means you have to remove 2 edges. You have to remove 2 edges. Okay? But you don't simply remove. Because they want minimum total weight. So you will try to remove the 2 edges with the highest weight. The 2 edges with the biggest weight you will remove. Okay, and then after removing the 2 edges with the biggest weight, you check whether the remaining one is a tree or not. If it's a tree, then that's the answer lah. If it's not a tree, then baru you change to the second highest weight. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. So which one is the highest weight? 34, right? So I'm gonna remove this, and then I can remove one more because I can remove 2 edges. So the second highest one is this edge. Now tell me, after removing these 2 edge, the left, what's left? This one, right? So tell me, is this a tree? If this is a tree, then that's the answer already. But it's not a tree, right? Because tree cannot have cycle, and also this one have cycle already. And also, you have to make sure all vertices connected. So you can see you leave out the V1 already. If you remove these two lines, that means this is not a tree. So I have to ambil balik this edge lah. So this is the edge that I erase uh erase earlier, right? So I will ambil balik this edge. So instead of taking 32, I will take the second edge with the biggest weight, right? So after 32, what's the highest weight after 32? 28, right? So let's try erasing this. So what's left? This. So now tell me, is this a tree? Yes, it's a tree because first it's a subgraph. Yeah, it's part of the graph. And second, it's a simple graph. Yeah, and then all vertices connected. Yeah, V1, V2, V4, V3, everything connected. And then the NE is NV minus 1. Yeah, because you have 4 vertex and 3 edges. And also it has no cycle. Yeah, tak ada cycle. So this is the tree with the minimum weight lah. So I'll draw it now like this, like this, like this, like this. And make sure the position of vertex is like similar to the master graph. Because I told you already, tree is a subgraph. Subgraph means the position of the vertex actually never change. Yeah, because it's part of the graph. So the V1 is here, V2 is here, and make sure this one you write V4, this one is V3, and then the weight you write also 32, 24, 25. And that's how you do the question 1. Question 2, state the minimum total weight. Okay, this one easy lah. Just take the 32 plus 24 plus 25. That's all, right? Okay, so if you press this, you will get 81. So that should be the answer for this. All right, that's all. Okay, let's continue with number 9. So what chapter is this? Okay, I see service tax. All right, and then I see road tax. Okay, I think I know now. This is from 5, chapter 4, and it's under the service tax lah for question A. All right, so I will do it up here for 9A. Okay, let's read the question. Alicia and Shanti stayed at the Primera Hotel. They rented a room for 2 days and 1 night at the hotel. The hotel charged a service tax of 6%, and the total room price, including tax imposed, was 291.5. Calculate the original price of the room. Okay, so I think I understand now. So they want to find original price of the room. So we can let the original price becomes X first. So I'll write here, let X be the original price. Okay. Alright, kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I know when I take X multiply with 6%, the answer plus with X will give me 291.5. Right? That's what it means by service tax 6%, right? It means when you add up with 6%, you plus with the original price will give you 291.5 because 291.5 is the total room price including the tax. That's why 291.5 comes from where? It comes from X, the original price, plus with the 6% of X, like that, right? But there is a fast way to do it. If you don't want to write like this, you can also write another way, which is X times 106 over 100 equals 291.5. Okay? Both of these is the same thing. Okay, the reason why I can write 106% is because 291.5 is actually 6% of the X and plus with 100%. Yeah, because 291.5 is the price including the tax, right? So I'll show you that both method will give you same answer lah. Okay, I'll do it like this first. So how to find X from here? Okay, 6 divided 100 is 0.06. So it becomes 0.06 plus X equals 291.50. Right? Okay, I forget the X here. Yeah, 0.0x 6x plus x. And what is 0.06x plus 1x? Nothing here means 1, right? So it becomes 1.06x equals 291.5. And as you can see, it's same with this. Because 106 over 100 is also 1.06x equals 291.5, right? So obviously you get same answer for both, right? So now you can press calculator, 291.5 divide 1.06. Alright, my calculator give me 275. So that is the answer. Okay, 275. All right, but they ask for original price, so we should write original price is RM 275. Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, that's all. Let's continue. Okay, 9B, what is this? Shanti has a car with engine capacity 1993 cc, and then they give you the table. You have the cc, the base rate, the progressive rate, and the raw tax rate. Based on table 1, calculate the raw tax that Shanti needs to pay. So they want to find raw tax lah. Okay, so don't confuse raw tax and motor insurance. The raw tax is easy one. Dia tak ada formula pun untuk hafal. Okay, it's actually very easy to do the raw tax. But the motor insurance, there are some formulas to memorize because that one they will ask for comprehensive, third party fire and theft, And then you have to check whether it's Semenanjung, Sabah, Sarawak. But for Rotex, we don't have to worry about those things. Rotex is very simple one. We just look at the CC 1993, and then we take out the which bracket, so it belongs to 1800 until 2000, right? So the base rate, that one have to take lah, 280 plus with, okay, the progressive rate, that's the balance lah. So the balance is 50 cent for every CC above 1800. So what we have to do is we have to take the total CC minus with 1800 to get the difference first. And then for every CC, you have to pay extra 50 cents. So times 0.50. And you just tekan all these, you get the answer already, right? But make sure you tekan minus dulu. And then after minus times, after times baru plus. Ah, last kali baru tambah. Alright, so the answer is RM 376.5. And every time you write RM, dia kena ada dua decimal place. So yeah, that's all. Sudah siap. Okay, number 10, what chapter? Okay, variation from 5, chapter 1. Okay. All right, so let's read the question. The income of durian seller X varies directly as the number of durian sold Y and varies inversely as number of rainy days Z. So this is definitely a variation question. And variation, we always do what? Step number 1 is you write the ikan symbol. Step number 2 is you change the ikan symbol to equal K. Step 3 is find K. But when you find K, you need to have what? Full info. You have to have full information. Okay, yeah. And then step 4 is rewrite. Rewrite. After you find K, you take the K, put it back inside the equation and rewrite the whole thing. And step number 5 is see what the question wants lah. Yeah. Okay, so let's read again. X varies directly as the number of durian sold Y. So we can write the ikan symbol already. X varies. Directly means you tulis dekat atas. So the Y tulis atas. And inversely as number of rainy days Z. So this one is Z. Okay. And also this is a story question. So usually for me, when I teach my student, if the variation question involve a story like that, I will ask them to put arrow and write down what the XYZ represents. And kalau boleh, write down the unit also. That's the best. Write down the unit also. So X represents income of durian RMX. So this one is RM. Okay, RM. And then Y is represents what? Number of durian sold. So I'll just write hashtag like that. So it represents number. And then number of rainy days. So this one is also number, but this one is number of rainy days. This one is number of durians. And then this one is RM. Okay, why is it important to write the arrow like that? So that later when we substitute the information inside, kita tak silap substitute lah. Faham kan? Yeah, we have to know what the XYZ represents. Kalau tak, we will, takut nanti silap ganti kan. Alright, so on 2 rainy days, the seller successfully sold 100 durians and earned 2,500. So here they give us the full information. They give us the XYZ, right? But you have to read carefully. The 2 is not X. Okay, the 2 is Z. The 2 is Z. Because rainy days, number of rainy days is Z. And then the seller successfully sold 100 durians. So 100 is not X, it's Y. That's why I asked you all to write the arrow. Okay, 2,500 is RM. So that one is X. Okay. So you have to be careful. Alright, express X in terms of Y and Z. It means dia suruh cari X equal to X. Dia kena cari X single lah. And then it will be X equals to something Y and something Z. Okay. So what I have to do now, change the ikan symbol to equal and then put K here. Okay, when I put K, the K kena darab dengan Y or Z. So you can straight away tulis atas macam tu. Okay. So now my job is to find K. And when we find K, we have to have full information. Full information means kita kena ada X, Y and Z. Tiga-tiga kena ada. Kalau ada X and Y saja tak boleh. Dia kena tiga-tiga ada. And they already give us all 3 information here. X is 2,500. And then Y is 100. Yang tu letak atas. Z 2 letak bawah. Okay, 100 can divide 2. You can press calculator. 100 divide 2 is gonna be 50. And then to find K, you just simply tekan 2,500 divide 50. And that gives you 50. And now the next step is to rewrite. And when you rewrite inside here lah. So it becomes X equals 50Y over Z. And sudah siap lah untuk soalan A. So dia suruh express X in terms of Y and Z. Ini dah jawapan dia. Okay, but there is a B here. So let's see what the B says. Calculate the number of durians sold. Okay, it means find X or find Y or find Z. Number of durians sold. Find Y. Because Y represents number of durians. That is why, so now you know, right? Why I asked you to write down what the XYZ represents. Okay, if the seller obtained income of 500, so income RM is X. So X is 500. And then in 3 rainy days, Z is the number of rainy days. So Z is 3. So this is very easy lah. You just continue from your A answer. X equals 50, Y over Z, right? And then for the X and Z, you sub with this lah, right? So I'm gonna erase the X, erase the Z, and replace with what? So the X I will write 500, and then the Z will just be 3 lah. And now I can find Y already. Okay, so how to find Y? Okay, 3 duduk bawah. Duduk bawah means bahagi, so hantar jadi darab. And then 50 duduk atas. Atas means darab. Darab hantar sini jadi bahagi, like that. And then you just tekan 500 times 3 divide 50, and you're gonna get 30. So that's the answer. Okay, it's quite easy. That's all for this. Okay, now we masuk bahagian B. Jawab semua soalan. Okay, let's see what chapter first. Purchase a house with, okay, fire insurance. So this one is definitely Form 5, Chapter 3. And it's under fire insurance. Yeah, for B, okay, B is different chapter. Yeah, but A is fire insurance. Okay, I'll give you the fire insurance notes first. So I'm gonna make some space here. All right, so I'll give you the fire insurance notes. So fire insurance. Okay, when we do fire insurance, we should always start with this formula. Okay, kita selalu kena guna formula ni dulu. Find the amount of required insurance. The formula is take the co-insurance percent multiply with the insurable value. Okay, so ingat selalu kita buat fire insurance, doesn't matter the soalan is from the textbook or from the past year paper or from trial paper or from any buku latihan, doesn't matter. We always, when it's fire insurance, we always have to do this formula first. For all fire insurance question, kita wajib kena buat ni dulu. And after doing this, we have to check whether it's case 1 or case 2 or case 3. Case 1 is when your insured value is equals to the required value. And how to get the required from here lah. Okay, yeah, this formula is to find required. Okay, let me put a box like this. Okay, so this formula is to calculate the required. Okay, and the insured they will give you in soalan. Ya, ini dia bagi dalam soalan. Required kita kena cari sendirilah. So let me tell you how the question works. The question will give you co-insurance and insurable. Dia mesti akan bagi one. And then you just darab to get the required, and they will give you the insured value next. And then you will compare your insured with your required. If the insured and required is the same exact amount, that means it's case 1. And for case 1, how you calculate the compensation? You will just take the loss minus deductible. That's it. That's all. Very simple. Just loss minus deductible. That's all. Okay, that's case 1. Okay, case 2 is when your insured value, insured means purchased, the amount you purchased is less than the required. That means the insured amount is less than the required you get from the first formula here. That means your compensation formula is differently. You have to take the insured, tulis atas, and then required letak bawah, and then times with loss minus deductible. Okay, yeah, that's the formula. Okay, insured means the purchased lah. So the purchased amount which is lesser, you have to letak atas, and then over required times loss minus deductible. Right? And also one more thing for case 2, sometimes they will ask for this co-insurance penalty. Okay, co-insurance penalty. But this one not always they will ask lah. But usually it's very rare for them to ask the penalty. But usually when they ask, most students cannot jawab one for the penalty. So that's why I mentioned it. So the co-insurance penalty is like this. You just take the required minus the insured minus the purchased lah. Okay, I'll just write purchased better. So take the required minus the purchased over the required times with loss. Yeah, that's all. Okay, and the way I teach my student is just take the other side of the fraction. So for example, to find the compensation, insured or required, let's say this one is 205. 205, right? So the co-insurance penalty will be 305. Yeah, just take the other side of the fraction. If this is 205, this is 305. Okay? Yeah, because required minus purchase, so 5 minus 2 is 3, so 305. Yeah, just take the other side of the fraction. So what if this one is like 507? Then the other side of the fraction will be 207, because 7 minus 5 is 2. So just take the other side of the fraction, and then times with the loss. That's how you get the penalty. Okay, last one is for case 3. Case 3 is when dia suffer total loss. Dalam bahasa Melayu, kerugian menyeluruh. It means the whole property, the whole building or the whole residence got burned down. Total loss. So for total loss, the compensation formula, you will just take the insurance purchased, the amount he purchased, minus deductible. Okay. So these are the 3 cases that you all need to make sure you know lah. If you don't know this, you cannot jawab the fire insurance question. Yeah, this is everything you need to know for fire insurance. Okay. Okay, let's do this question now. Encik Arshad has purchased a house which is insured with fire insurance, which has a co-insurance 85% of the insurable value of his house. And the insurance company has determined the insurable value is 550,000 and the deductible is 8,000. So number one, calculate amount of required that Encik Arshad should purchase for the house. So I told you, right? When you do fire insurance, always start with this formula first. Get the required. And the question also asks for required here. And the formula is what? Just take the co-insurance percent, 85 or 100, multiply with the insurable value, 550,000. Sir, what about the 8,000? That one later. The 8,000 is deductible. Deductible, we only use the 8,000 when we are finding compensation. Bila kita kira compensation, baru ada deductible. Now we are finding the required. So just take this times this. Alright, the answer is 4675. Okay, write RM lah because this one is the final answer. 4675 00. Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, now let's see number 2. Confirm they will ask for compensation, right? This time. If Encik Arshad insure means purchase. Means dia beli, insured beli. His house for an amount of 400,000. Okay, I'll stop here. Dia beli berapa? Dia purchase berapa? 400,000. Now, you have to compare this value with the required. So, 400,000 is amount yang dia beli. 467500, this is the amount yang dia harus beli. So, tell me, case 1, case 2 or case 3? Confirm not case 1, right? Because the insured is not equals to the required, right? Yeah, insured is actually less than the required. So it's not definitely not case 1. So it can be case 2 or case 3. Okay, so let's keep reading and see whether it's case 2 or case 3. Calculate the compensation that he will receive if his house caught on fire and his amount of loss was 45500. So you can see that the loss is 45500. It's not total loss. Okay, it's not total loss. Okay, so it's not case 3. So we will do the case 2 formula. And they're asking for compensation, right? So according to the formula here, compensation equals to insured or required times loss minus deductible. So you just use the formula. So the insured amount is 400,000, and then over with the required, which is 467500, times with the loss 45500, and then minus deductible. Can you see how easy it is when you, how to say, when you know this, right? If you all just make sure you all know this, you all remember all these 3 cases, you will realize how easy it is to do the question. You basically just masuk the values saja. Alright, you press all this and you will get RM30930.48. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. Okay, so that's how easy it is. That's it. Okay, alright, the next question. A year later, Encik Arshad house was completely burned down. It means suffer total loss. Completely burned down means yeah, the whole house got burned, so nothing left. So it's case 3, total loss. So later, if they want for compensation, I will take insurance purchase minus deductible. So let's read. Calculate the amount of compensation he will receive if he insure means beli, purchased his house with the amount in A2. So amount in A2, amount in A2 says he purchased with 400,000, right? So you just take 400,000 minus the deductible 8,000 lah. Yeah, because for case 3, the formula to find compensation is take the insurance purchase minus deductible. And this one, the insurance purchase, they said is same with the amount in A2, which is 400,000 lah. Because in A2, they believe 400,000, right? And then minus deductible, of course. So you will get 392,000. And of course, this one have to write RM for the final answer. Alright, that's all. Now we do B. Okay, B is a different chapter because I see cash flow. So this is not insurance. This one is from 4 chapter 10. Yeah, it means this question they mix 2 chapter together lah. Yeah, number 11, they mix 2 chapter. They mix the insurance chapter and the financial management chapter. Okay, Puan Sophia works as a marketing officer in KL with a net salary of 7,200. Okay, cash flow we always calculate for 1 month one. So this one I assume that it's also for 1 month. Her monthly fixed expenses are 3,550. You see, monthly. And the monthly variable is 2,750. Puan Sophia has set aside 10% as a monthly fixed savings. Calculate Puan Sophia's cash flow. Okay, when we calculate cash flow, it's always for 1 month. Yeah, usually it's always for 1 month. So let's calculate the 10% first lah. So 10 over 100 of a salary for fixed savings. So 10% times 7,200, that gives you 720. So 720 is the amount of savings. So now we can calculate cash flow. The formula for cash flow is what? Total income minus total expenses. So total income is 7,200. That's the salary. And you ambil 720 to save, so that one have to minus lah. And then all the expenses 3,550 also have to minus. The 2,750 is also expenses minus. And then tekan semua ni, you dapat answer. Alright, tekan all this, what you get? 100 80. Okay. All right. So the soalan asks us to calculate cash flow only, right? They never say to explain anything. So yeah, I just calculate the cash flow. That's all. So that's it. Yeah, it's quite simple. Okay, number 12. What chapter is this? Okay, I'll tell you now. It's from 4, chapter 7. This chapter is called Graph of Motion, GOM, or in Bahasa Melayu, Graph Gerakan. Okay, let's read the question. Table 2 shows part of travel information of the bus for a trip involving a group of pupils from SMK Batu Terapi. Okay, and then when it's 11 a.m., depart from SMK Batu Terapi. Depart means like start moving lah. And then 12:10 p.m., stop at the Dengkil rest area for lunch. So 12:10 stop until 12:40, and then 12:40 depart again to Taman Botani. And then 1:16 is when you arrive at Taman Botani. Okay, so I get it. Now what? Based on the information, the speed time graph of the motion of bus is drawn as shown in diagram 11. So let's go to diagram 11. Okay, so this is a speed time graph, speed time. Okay, let's look at the unit. Kilometer per hour, this one is in minutes. So everything here is in minutes. Okay, so what happens here? Okay, as time increases, the speed is also increasing. This one we call it accelerate. Okay, yeah, if it's a speed time graph and it goes up, the line goes up like that, that means it's accelerate. And then what if the line is like this? It's like a horizontal line. Okay, for speed time graph, if the line is horizontal, that means it's still moving with a constant speed or uniform speed. And then when the line go down means the speed decreases over time, so decelerate. Okay, what's the meaning of here? Here is when the speed is zero. Do you realize? From 70 minutes to 100 minutes, the speed is at zero. That means this is when they stop. Okay, yeah lah, because the speed is zero mah. When will the speed of car would be zero? When it stops lah. When the engine sudah mati lah. You sudah matikan the engine, that's when the speed is zero. And then what about here? Here is accelerate, and then here is decelerate. Okay, and I'm sure this graph match with the story up here. Yeah, it match with the story up here. Let's double check. Okay, they all write in minutes for the time. So let's convert everything to minutes here. So 11 a.m., that's when the journey starts. So this will be zero. Okay, this will be zero because this is the start. So from here to here, how many hours and how many minutes have passed? 1 hour, 10 minutes. Because 11 to 12:10 ma. So 11 plus 1 hour is 12 o'clock and then plus another 10 minutes. But if you convert to minutes, it's going to be 70 minutes. Because 1 hour is 60 minutes plus 10 is 70 minutes, right? Okay, what about 12:10 to 12:40? That's going to be 30 minutes lah. You just minus, right? 40 minus 10, 30. So 70 plus 30, that's going to be 100 minutes. Okay, and then what about 12:40 to 1:16? Okay, this one I have to think a bit. Okay, let's change this to 24-hour system. Yeah, because if you change to 24-hour system, then we can minus with the 12:40. So 1:16, if you change to 24-hour system, is will be 1316. Yeah, 1 plus 12, right? Change to 24-hour system. And then 1240, you can minus now. Okay, so when you take 16 minus 40, tak cukup, you kena pinjam from the 13 jadi 12. And when you pinjam 60. Because 1 hour 60 minutes. So 60 plus 16 is 76. Minus 46 is 36. 12 minus 12 is 0. So it means from here to here, the difference is 36 minutes. So if I take 100 minutes plus 36, I'm going to get 136 minutes. And if you look at your x-axis, all the value match with here. 70, 100, 136, you see? 70, 100, 136. But sir, what about the 25, 55? This whole time he's been moving ma. That's why lah. Okay, you tell what's me. You remember just now he says depart from SMK Batu Berapi and it stops at after 70 minutes, right? It means this whole time from 0 to 70 is moving the whole time. Yeah lah, it's moving ma, you see. Accelerate means moving. This is also still moving, but moving with constant speed. This is still moving, but it's moving with but the speed is decreasing over time. And this is when it stops lah. From 70 to 100 it stops. Because if you butcher here, you see 70 to 100 stop at the Dengkil rest area, right? So it match with the story. And then after 100 it starts to depart again. You see? 100 starts to depart again. And then it's accelerate, decelerate. And 136, that's when they arrive at the Taman Botani. Okay? Yeah, so the graph actually match with the story lah. So now we can see what they want down here. A1, calculate the distance in km of the bus for the last 36 minutes. So soalan asks for distance in km last 36 minutes. So I'll do it up here. A1, I want to find distance. Distance. And then it's for the last 36 minutes. So let's highlight the last 36 minutes. Where is that? Last 36. Okay, 136 minus 36 will be here, right? So it's talking about this line right here, this graph right here, and this graph. It's talking about this graph. So how do we find the distance traveled here? How do we find the distance traveled here? It means we are finding the distance from Taman Botani. I mean, sorry, the distance from the Dengkil rest area. Yeah, the rest area is like because it stop rest area at here, ma. And then after rest is depart to Taman Botani, and 1:16 is when it arrive at Taman Botani. So we are finding the distance between the rest area and the Taman Botani. So how do we find the distance here? Okay, this is a speed time graph. For speed time graph, you need to know two things. The gradient of the graph will give you the acceleration answer, and then the area under graph will give you the distance. Okay, the area of the graph will give you the distance traveled. So if I want to find the distance for the last 36 minutes, we simply find the area under graph. It means we find the area of this triangle lah. Okay, but how to find area of triangle? Okay, of course you can cut it in half, but it doesn't work lah, because if you cut it, yeah, you don't know what's here, right? And also they never say these two lines sama panjang, so you cannot assume these two lines sama, and you, yeah. So I think I will not cut the shaded region in half. I'll just find the whole thing directly. So how to find the area? So I'll just write here area under graph. Okay. Okay, this I will just do 1/2 times base times height. And then the base will be here, and then the height will be here. But hold on. Wait. You have to look at the unit because they want the distance in km now, in kilometer. That means that means you have to make sure the y-axis is kilometer per hour and the x-axis has to be in hours. Because later you have to take 1/2 times base times height. And do you agree the base will be 36? Because the difference here is 36, right? But the 36 is in minutes. And then the height will be, you have to take the vertical height, which is 90 lah, right? But if you do it like that, it will be wrong because 36 is in minutes and then 90 is in kilometer per hour. So when you take minute times km per hour, the minute and hour cannot cut. The minute and hour cannot cut. That is why you have to convert this to hour. You have to divide 60 like this. Because if you divide 60, because 1 hour is 60 minutes, right? So you convert to hour, divide 60, then it will become what? You will take hour times with kilometer per hour, and then can cut, you see? And then you end up with kilometer. That's why this one have to convert to hours. So in the exam, you have to be careful with the unit. Sometimes dia main dengan unit, so you have to jaga-jaga lah. Alright, so now we can press all this in the calculator, and you get 27. But the soalan asks for distance, right? So we just write distance equals 27, and it's in km, automatic in km already, because I already convert the unit so that dia boleh potong sini. Okay, that's all. Now question 2. Hence describe the motion of the bus for the last 36 minutes. It means we are describing for the red color one lah. Okay, so describe means you have to write a sentence. So what you can mention? What can you mention about the motion here? So of course you can mention about the, let's see, you can mention about the distance. Yeah, because you just find out that the distance is 27 kilometer, right? Okay, let's see how many marks. Okay, 3 marks for both A1, A2. So I think you can mention, definitely can mention about the distance covered by this, right? Or you can also mention about the average speed. Yeah, because you can see it moves, it accelerate and then decelerate, right? So you can actually find out the average speed for this. So yeah, we can when we describe later, we can mention about the average speed. But let's find out the average speed first. So the average speed will be total distance travel here, which is 27 only. We are only finding average speed for the last 36 minutes. So 27 kilometer divided by total time, which is 36 minutes. But the 36 has to convert to hours, so that later your average speed answer comes out in kilometer per hour. Okay? Alright, so let's press this. 27 divide 36 over 60. But make sure you put bracket. Alright, so the answer here will be 45. 27 times 60 divide 36. Yeah, 45. So the average speed is 45 kilometer per hour. So now let's describe. So dot dot dot. Okay, I can write the car. Wait, is it car or a bus? Sorry, the bus. So I'll just write here the bus moves with an average speed of 45 kilometer per hour. Yeah, so it moves it. Okay, the speed keep on changing, right? So that's why we find out the average speed lah. And also we can mention about the time in the last 36 minutes, right? In the last 36 minutes. And also mention about the distance. Okay, in the last 36 minutes, covering, comma, covering distance of 27 km. Yeah, so you can write like that. So let's read again. So they ask us to describe the motion for last 36 minutes. So I just write the bus moved with average speed of 45 kilometer per hour in the last 36 minutes, covering a distance of 27 km. Yeah, so I think this is good enough. Yeah, you mentioned about the distance, you mentioned about the time, and you also mentioned about the average speed. So yeah, it's perfect. Everything is here. Okay, so that's all. Now we can do B. Diagram 12 in the answer space shows an incomplete distance time graph. By referring to diagram 11, complete the distance time graph. Wait, so we have to convert to DTG. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So as you can see, this one, I have to convert the STG to the DTG, right? Okay, when we convert STG to DTG, we have to make sure. Okay, let's look at the time first. So 25, 55, 70, 100, 136. So you can see it's same lah. Okay. Okay, but let me tell you something. If I want to convert the STG to DTG, if the line is like this, right? If the line is like this, and we convert to DTG, it will be like this now. Yeah, because uh the gradient is increasing. Because if DTG, the gradient of the graph would be the speed. Yeah, for DTG, the gradient of the graph would be speed. And if your speed it keeps on increasing, it means the gradient also have to go like that. Okay. And then for the if the line is like this, then only the line is okay. So how to explain this? All right, I'll just explain using table lah. Okay, so you wait for me. All right, so that means if the STG graph, STG, and then this one is DTG. Okay. So if the STG graph looks like this, then the DTG, when you convert, it will be like this. Okay. But if it's horizontal, then it should be like this. If you convert to DTG. And then if it's going down, then let me think. Going down means the speed is decreasing over time. So in DTG, the gradient has to keep on decreasing. So the gradient keep on decreasing. Okay, this one I'm not sure. I think it's like this. Wait, yeah, yeah. I feel like it's like this, right? But I feel like in mathematics, in maths, we don't do it like that. We don't do the curve shape. This one is like only in physics. Okay, cuma dalam physics saja we will draw the graph shape like that. So I think I will just should I just find the average speed here? What if I just find the average speed here and then just make it into like just one second line? Huh. Okay, tak apa, we find the distance first. Yeah, because the time is already there, but we need to know the distance, right? So how we can find the distance? Okay, just now we already know the distance from the stop area to here is 27, right? But we also need to find the distance from here. Yeah, from here also we need to find the distance. Okay, so even though the question never asked, but we need to find lah. So I will do B now, and I will do it. Okay, I'll just do it down here lah. Where should I do it? Okay, I'll just do it here lah. So here I'll just do B. Okay, I'll just find the distance, and we find it by using area under graph. Okay, area under graph, and I'm finding the distance from where to where. Okay, just now we already know from the rest area to Botani is 27 km. But from Batu Perapi to Dengkil rest area, this one the distance we don't know yet. And that one is for the first 70 minutes. So you find the area here lah. Okay, this one you can use area of trapezium. You can take 1/2 times the sum of parallel lines like this, here plus here, and then times the distance here. Or you can also cut this into three shape. Just cut it like this and then get a triangle plus rectangle. Yeah, can also. Okay. All right. So I think I will do it. I think I'll just pecahkan lah. So I will just pecahkan like this, and first I will find the area of triangle first. So 1/2 times 25 times 90. So let's write it there. 1/2 times 25 times 90. But the 25 is in what? Is in minutes, right? So you have to divide 60 to convert to hours, and then the 90 is kilometer per hour. So hour and hour cut already lah. So you left with kilometer later. Yeah, and you are trying to find the distance in km now. That's why I have to do like that. Okay. Okay, plus with what? The next is the rectangle. So let's go up. Rectangle, okay, this shape right here. So it'll be 55 minus 25, which is 30, and then times 90, right? But the 30 have to divide 60 to convert to hours. So area of rectangle is 30 over 60 times 90. Okay, for the last one is the small triangle, right? Okay, the small triangle would be 1 over 2 times base here times here. Okay, the base, we have to find the difference here. 70 minus 55, that's going to be 15. And then we have to convert to hours also, 15 over 60, and then times 90. So 1 over 2 times 15 over 60 times 90. Okay, now we are done with the working. Now it's time to press calculator lah. So you tekan this, you will get 18.75 plus. This one you tekan, you get 45 plus. This one you tekan, you get 11.25. And then everything plus together is 75. And it's in km. Yeah, distance is in km. Okay, it means for the first 70 minutes, it travels 75 km. And then after travel for 75 km, stop sekejap, and then after that travel another 27 km to reach the Taman Botani. Okay, so now, okay, actually the 27 km is here. Yeah, it's not here. Yeah, it's not here. Here is when it stops. So when it stops, the distance traveled is 0. Okay, so here is 75, 27. So to get the highest value for y-axis, we have to plus the 75 and 27 lah. Ya, kita kena tambah dua-dua, 75 plus 27, and that gives us 102. So now we know the highest value should be 102. Yeah, in the distance time graph, it should be 102 highest. Okay? So how we can go? Okay, we can use the scala. We can go 20 lah maybe. So it's like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Okay, but 102 is like a bit slightly above here lah. So I'll just put 102 here. Okay, and then for the first 70 minutes before the stop, the 75 I will put it where? Okay, this one is 100 lah. So 80, 60. So middle is 70. So 75 is like lebih kurang here lah. Okay. This is just a sketch question ma, so we don't have to, the scala no need to be so perfect one lah. Just make sure dia lebih kurang then enough li. Okay, so lebih kurang macam tu lah. Lebih kurang 20, 40, 60, 80, so 75 a bit bawah, and then 100, so 102 a bit atas. Okay, so now it's time to draw the graph. So the first line, it should be moving from the, I forget, from the Scholar to the where, right? I forgot what's the name. Okay, let's see one more time. So it's moving from the SMK Batu Prapi to the Dengke rest area, and for 70 minutes it's moved, right? Okay lah. So I think we don't refer the speed time graph lah when we draw. We refer this, because if we refer this then we have to draw the curve already. And I tak pernah this one, the curve one is like only physics we do like that. Okay, in maths we usually just use straight line. Okay, yeah, this is like more advanced punya when you use curve. Okay, so I think we just refer the table, then refer the table and then just draw straight line. So for the first 70 minutes, travel 75 km. So we just draw a straight line, and then when it reach 70 minutes, that's when the distance travel already 75. So the line should be like this. Okay. All right. Let me make this line thicker a bit. Okay. And then what's happened next is the bus stop, right? And if I'm not mistaken, it stops for 30 minutes from 70 to 100. That means the line should be horizontal. Yeah, because in distance time graph, I told you, right? When when the speed is 0, that means the distance travel is 0 also lah. So for distance time graph, the horizontal line means stop. Okay, yeah, so you stop until here, until for 30 minutes. Okay, so that's the next point. Okay, yeah, it means the time is increasing but the distance never change. Yeah, it stops. So after it stops here, you continue the journey to depart to Taman Botani, and you travel for another 27 km. That is why just now I take the 75, I plus with 27, and I get 102. That means the distance traveled here is 102 lah. And when it's 136, that's when it reach the Taman Botani. So the 102 is here. So you have to make sure it's at this level. So this is the whole graph. Okay, I think I'm done with this part. So anything I left? Wait, let's see. Complete the DTG, 2 marks. Okay, I think that's all lah. Sudah siap. Okay, we can do the next part. Soalan C. Based on diagram 12 drawn on 12B, calculate the average speed in kilometer hour for the bus. So I think I have to use this graph and calculate the average speed. Okay, quite easy. To find average speed, we have to use the formula again. Total distance over total time. So average speed equals total distance over total time. Okay, this time you don't have to find the total area because it's a DTG. Because it's a distance time graph. So to get the total distance, it's very simple. The distance traveled here is 75. For here, the distance traveled is 0 because you just stop. And then for distance traveled here will be the difference here, which is 27. So 75 plus 27 is 102 lah. So the total distance traveled 102 km. And then the total time will be 136 minutes. But you have to divide 60 to convert to hours. Because later the answer they want in kilometer per hour. Okay. So when you divide this, you get 45. Okay. And if you double check, yeah, they got mentioned here. You see, in kilometer per hour. That is why you have to make sure the 136 minute convert to hour lah. Okay. Alright, that's all for C. Now we can do D lah. Okay, D. The fuel cost for the round trip. Okay, what is round trip? Pergi dan balik. You go to the Taman Botani and then go back. So the fuel cost is sponsored by the PIBG of SMK Batu Terapi. The allocated rate is 1 ringgit 20 per kilometer with a total approved amount of 300 for the journey. So this is what the school allow you to spend. And then it says, is 300 sufficient for the journey? Justify your answer by calculation. So I think the 300 we have to ignore first. We have to ignore and we have to calculate our own expenses first. So I will have to calculate my own fuel cost. And then after that, check whether my answer is more than 30 or less than 30. If more than 30 means not enough lah, not sufficient. But if it's less than 30 means sufficient. Dia cukup. Okay, how to calculate the fuel cost? They already said here, the rate is 1 ringgit 20 cents per km. So RM 1 ringgit 20 cents is per km. But how many km you travel? 45, right? But wait, hold on. 45 is pergi sahaja tau. Later you go there, you have to balik kepada the SMK, right? And when you balik, the distance will definitely be the same also. So they already said round trip pergi dan balik. So it should be 45 km times 2. And that gives you 90 km. So to find the total fuel cost pergi dan balik, you have to take 90 km and then times 1.20 lah. Okay, this one is RM 1.20 per hour. I forgot about this. Yeah, per km. Per hour pula. Per km. So if you have RM per km times with km, cut, you left with RM lah. So that's how you do it. Okay. So remember, round trip means pergi dan balik. So the graph only shows for pergi sahaja. So after he go there and jalan-jalan, you have to balik. So the total distance have to times 2. Okay, so now we have to do 1.2 times 9. So you get berapa? 20. Wait, let me press. 1.2 times 90. 108. Hey, but wait, I feel like I made a mistake. 102 times 2, right? Oh my god, why I write 45 times 2? Okay, sorry guys. 45 is the average speed, right? Yeah, sorry. 45 is the average speed. We have to take the distance in kilometer. Oh my god. So it should be the distance in kilometer. So the distance travel is actually 75 plus with the 27, which is 102 km lah. Yang pergi punya distance is 102 km. But pergi dan balik times 2 like that. Okay? And this will be in km. And then 102 times 2 times 102 is 204 km. This one is per hour. And then when you cut per km. And then when you cut, you left with RM 1.2 times 204, you get 244.80. Okay. Okay, let me double check. 1.2 times 204. Yeah, correct. So now is 300 sufficient for the journey? Okay, this one is less than 300, right? So yes lah. So since RM 244.80 is less than RM 300, comma, therefore uh the the okay, total approved amount. So the total approved amount of RM 300 is sufficient for the journey. So I'll just write like this. Okay. Maksudnya dia cukup lah. Dia cukup. 300 is enough to pay for the fuel cost. Okay. All right. So that's how I would do it. Okay. This question is like dia tak ikut format sangat for this Selangor state. Okay. So hope you understand. I'll continue now. Okay, number 13. What chapter is this? You see bracket, you know already it's matrix. So from 5, chapter 2. Okay, given that this matrix times this matrix will give you I, calculate the value of M. Okay, what is I? I is called identity matrix and I is 1001. Okay, and what is 1001? 1001 is 1 in matrix. Uh, okay, this is 1. Dia satu. Okay. Maksudnya dalam dunia matrix, kita tulis satu macam ni. 1001. That's how we write the 1. Okay. Okay, actually there's two methods to solve this question. First method is you just find the inverse of this. You find the inverse of this and then compare with this. Yeah. Because when any matrix darab dengan dia punya inverse, you will get dapat I. Okay. Yeah, so there's a formula you learn in the inverse matrix. Kalau ada dua matrix, satu normal matrix, satu inverse, when you take any matrix lah, darab dengan dia punya inverse, you will always get back the I. Because inverse is like bahagi. It's like bahagi A. So when you take A bahagi A, you dapat balik 1. You dapat balik identity. Okay? Another formula you learned before is when you take any matrix times with the I, you get back the A. Yeah, same reason lah, because I is satu mah. So when you darab satu, nothing happens lah. You dapat balik A. Okay. But when you do A inverse, it's like A bahagi A lah. You get back the I. Okay. So these two things. So I told you got two method, right? First method, you cari ini punya inverse. It means you jadikan ini matrix A, and then you jadikan ini A inverse. Yeah. Because dua-dua darab dapat I mah. So this must be the inverse of this. So you just find the inverse and then compare the answer with this. That's the first method. Second method is you multiply the two matrix and then after multiply, compare your answer with 1001. Okay. So I will show you both method lah. Both method also will give you same answer one. Okay. So I will do it the first way first. So let me make some space. All right. So let's start. First step. Okay. I'll just show you using the inverse method first. So the inverse method looks like this. Inverse of 3 negative 4 1 2. 3 negative 4 negative 1 2 equals to the other one 1 2 m3 over 2. Okay, and if you ask me like, hey sir, why this one is the inverse of this? Because the hasil darab is I lah. Because when you multiply you get I. That's why they have this special relationship. When two matrix darab dapat I, that means these two matrix have a special relationship. And what's the relationship? One of it is the normal matrix and the other one is the inverse. So you can jadikan this one the normal matrix and then the other one is the inverse lah. Okay, now after you do this, now you can find the inverse on the left side. So it becomes 1 over, when you do inverse, you have to darab silang, start dari atas, so 3 times 2 is 6 minus negative 1 times negative 4 is 4. Okay, and then bracket 3 and 2 boleh tukar tempat, negative 4 negative 1 tukar tanda jadi 4 1. Okay, and then 6 minus 4 is 1 over 2 times with 2 4 1 3, everything times 1 over 2, so everything bahagi 2, so bahagi 2 dapat 1, bahagi 2 2, 1 bahagi 2, 1 over 2, 3 bahagi 2, 3 over 2. And equals to, okay, this one you just write it here, and then you just compare lah. Just banding. So when you banding, 1 sama dengan 1, 2 sama dengan 2, 3 over 2, 3 over 2, M is 1 over 2. So that's the answer. Okay. Okay, I want to show you another method. But of course, in the exam, you just do one method only lah. Okay, the other method, I will use red color pen to show you. So the other method is you no need to do inverse. You don't have to do inverse. You just darab. Yeah, you just darab. So this one is I. The I will write it as 1001, and then this one is 1 3. Sorry, this is 2. Sorry, 2, and then M3 over 2, and then 3 negative 4 negative 1 2. So the second method, you do it like this. You just darab. Just darab. So when you have 2 row 2 column, 2 row 2 column, this one and this one same can cut. So you get 2 row 2 column for your answer, and then compare with this, right? So when you darab matrix, you're gonna ambil horizontal times vertical, and then right here, and then horizontal times with the second column right here, and then second row first column right here, second row second column right here. Okay, all right. So let's start over. So let me write again this one. So this one is 2. Okay, so I'll start with the first row 1 2, and then first column. Okay, and I'll write here. So 1 times 3, and then 2 times negative 1 like this. Okay, and then you realize there's a second column here, so I have to repeat the same process, but still taking the same row, but with the second column this time. 1 times -4 is -4, 2 times 2 4, and you write it at the second column here lah. Still the first row, second column. And then now you don't have any column anymore, so you go to the second row and repeat the same process. M times 3, 3m, and then 302 times -1, -302. Ini cara betul lah untuk darab matrix. And then m times -4 is -4m, 302 times 2 is 3, and then nothing here means plus. And now you just compare lah. 3 minus 2 is 1, this one is 0, this one is 3m minus 3/2, and this one is -4m plus 3 equals 1001. So you can see the ones boleh compare dengan 1, 0 dengan 0. So that means what? 3m minus 3/2 is equals to, okay, this one, the position is at bawah kiri. So bawah kiri is 0, so 0. So you can find m now. Just pindah jadi positive 3/2, and then m equals 3/2 bahagi 3. So you get 1/2 also lah. Of course, you can also compare -4m plus 3 equals 1. You get the same answer also. Yeah, 1 minus 3 is -2. -2 divided -4, positive 1/2. Ya, sama saja. Okay. Okay, so nak buat macam ni pun boleh, nak buat macam ni pun boleh. Just choose one way to do it. Alright, that's all. Okay, B1. Drama and Music Society of Lisa School held a show. Lisa is one of the members of society. Table 3 shows the number of tickets sold by Lisa. So first day, she sold 4 student ticket, 5 non-student ticket, and the total collection in RM 102 ringgit. Second day is 7, 5, and then 126 ringgit. Write two linear equations to represent the situation above. So this is definitely simultaneous lah. And then hence by using matrix method, calculate the price of one student ticket and one non-student. Okay, this one is under from same chapter, from 5 chapter 2, and it's the simultaneous equation part. But they already said they want you to use the matrix method. Okay. So yeah, it's definitely the simultaneous equation lah. But first we have to write the two equation first. So how to write the equation? Okay. First we need to know what the XY represent dulu. Okay. And when this question memang always comes up one lah in your paper 2. In the trial paper mesti ada satu soalan macam ni. So I always teach the same way. You need to know what the XY represents first. And in this question they never say it. So my advice would be straight away you read the last baris and see what they want to find, and then make that the XY. So what they want to find, calculate price of one student ticket and one non-student. So your first step is let the X and Y equals to what? So I'll write let X equals to one student ticket, one non-student, right? But be more specific. Price of one student ticket. So price of one student ticket. And then Y will be also price of one non-student ticket. So ingat bila kita buat soalan yang simultaneous, kita boleh terus tengok last baris, tengok apa dia suruh cari, and apa yang dia suruh cari itulah you punya XY. Okay, now you already know XY is RM. They are price, right? So now we can write down the two equation very easily already because you already know the XY represents price of one ticket. Okay, so if you have 4 student ticket, it will be 4X lah. And then 5 non-student will be 5Y lah. And the total in RM is 102. And then for the next equation is 7x plus 5y equals 126. That's all. Okay, the soalan ada suruh cari tak? Okay, this row write two equation. Okay, sudah. And then by using matrix, calculate the price. Means kena cari lah. Okay, tapi saya sudah jadikan benda ni x, y. So now you just have to find x, y lah. But you have to use the matrix method. Okay, so how to convert to, first we have to convert to matrix form first. So when you convert, it will become like this. Bracket, bracket equals bracket. The first bracket, you have to write down the number before xy, which is 4, 5, 7, 5. Second bracket, you have to write the unknowns. So x, they write x first. So yang tu tulis atas. And then y, the next one, you tulis bawah. And then 102, 126, you write here. So now you can solve for xy. Okay, this one nothing between means times. So bila times darab, you hantar sana jadi bahagi kan. Tapi dalam dunia matrix tak ada bahagi. We call it inverse. Okay, kita buat inverse. So we'll do the inverse of this. So it becomes 1 over, and then do the inverse of this. 4 times 5 is 20, minus 7 times 5 is 35, and then bracket, and then the 4 and 5, that one have to tukar tempat jadi 5, 4, and then 5 and 7 have to tukar tanda jadi -5, -7. And don't forget, ada lagi satu benda, 102, 126, right? So now your xy becomes 1 over 20 minus 35 is -15, and then these two matrix saya boleh darab. Yeah, this is a 2 row 2 column, 2 row 1 column. So when you have 2 by 2, 2 by 1, when you multiply the 2 cut, left with 2 times 1. So this matrix will be 2 row 1 column. It means satu nombor atas, satu nombor bawah. And cara untuk darab is we have to take horizontal times vertical. So we have take the from the first matrix, take the horizontal, and then the next one take vertical like this. And cara dia darab is 5 times 102, and then negative 5 times 126. Okay, all right. So negative 5 times 126, and everything you write at the first row, first column. And now you don't have any column, so you can go to the second row. Okay, okay. The negative 7 and 4 is separate. Yeah, it's separate. It's not 74. Okay, yeah, it's separate. So let me put some space between them so you know they are separate. So second row, but this time times with this. So negative 7 times 102 will be here, and then 4 times 126 will be here, and then nothing here means plus. Alright, so continue. XY equals 1 over negative 15. Okay, dalam sini boleh buat dulu. So just tekan lah. 5 times 102 minus 5 times 126. Okay, I got negative 120. Tulis. Okay, yang bawah pula negative 7 times 102 plus 4 times 126. Dapat negative 210. Now both this number have to bahagi negative 15. So negative bahagi negative positive. So negative 2 tak payah tekan dah. So 120 bahagi 5, I get 24. And then 210 bahagi 15, I got 14. Okay. So after you get your, wait, I feel like I did something wrong. 120 divide 15 sekali lagi. 120 divide 15. Oh, dapat 8. Okay, okay, maybe I silap tekan tadi. So 120 divide 15 is 8. And then 210 divide 15 is 14. Yeah. Okay, so sudah cari XY, but the soalan asks for price of one student and non-student ticket. So we should write it down like this. Price of one student ticket equals to something, and then price of one non-student ticket equals. Okay, student ticket is X, so 8. And then non-student is Y, so 14. But I have to write RM lah because it's price, right? So you write like that, you should get full mark already. Okay, okay, that's it for this question. Okay, now we can do question 2. Alright, so I'll use the remaining space here to do. Okay, Mira has 100 ringgit. She wants to buy 5 student ticket and 7 non-student ticket. Okay, we already know the price of one student is 8, one non-student is 14. So we can just take 5 times 8 plus 7 times 14, right? And then does she have enough money to buy the ticket? Justify your answer by using matrix multiplication. Okay, so I already tell you, right? Just take the 5, 7 times with the 8 and 14. Okay, so yeah, just darab lah. But they say by using matrix multiplication. So we have to write dalam bentuk matrix lah. So we take 5, 7. That one we write it in a row like that. And then times with 8, 14 like this. Or you can also write like this. 8, 14 times 5, 7. Yeah. So this one is 1 row, 2 column. This one is 2 row, 1 column. And then when you cut, you get a 1 row, 1 column answer. Or you can also write like that. Same thing. 1 row, 2 column, 2 row, 1 column. Cut. Left with 1 row, 1 column. Okay. So now we can darab lah. Okay, so dia akan jadi apa? 5 times 8 is 40, and then 7 times 14, you press, you will get 98. And then bracket, and then you equals 40 plus 98 is 138. Okay. Okay, of course, if you do like that, you will also get 138 also. Okay, yeah, it's the same. Okay. I want to explain a bit why I have to write like this. Because the answer one in matrix multiplication. So you write in bentuk matrix. And when you write in bentuk matrix, dia mesti you have to make sure this number and this number same. And you have to make sure after you cut, you left in 1 row, 1 column. Yeah, because you want you want to find out the price. So it has to be 1 row, 1 column here, and that answer will be the answer for the total money spent. Okay. So he say Mira has 100. Does she have enough? So 138. So you need to spend 138. So I write here, no, right? Since, so I'll just write here no. And then since 138 is more than 138 is already more than 100, she does not have enough because she only have 100. Yeah, so she does not have enough money to buy the tickets. Yeah, just write like that. This is good enough. Okay, so she has 100, but it's not enough to buy 5 student and 7 non-student, because 5 student and not 7 non-student cost you 138, so it's not enough lah. Okay, that's all. Hope you understand. Okay, number 14 pula. Alright, what chapter is this? This is very obvious. It's the Form 5, chapter 5. It's called the transformation chapter, right? Okay, let's read the soalan. Diagram 13 shows pentagon JKLMN. Which one? Okay, this one, the small one. And then JQRST, which one? Okay, the big one. And then ABCDE, okay, this one, drawn on the Cartesian plan. So there's three shapes, right? And mostly they will tell you separate object, separate image. And you have to butcher carefully and label nicely. And then write down the arrow. Okay, okay, so let's read. Pentagon ABCDE is the image of JKLMN under combined transformation UV, and then describe transformation V, transformation U lah. Okay, so first thing you have to label separate object, separate image dulu. So ABCDE is the image of JKLMN under two transformation UV. Okay, that means ABCDE is the final image, because ABCDE is the image after two transformation. So this is the I2, the final image, right? And then JKLMN, that is the object. That means this one is the first image I1. It means you go from O to I1 and then to I2. Okay. So I recommend you draw the arrow also. So the arrow one, I will put it up here lah. So there will be two arrow, and you start with what? JKLMN. Yeah, that is the first object. Okay. And then you do a transformation, you reach I1, which is JQRST. That's the first image. And then ABCDE, that's the final image. Okay, ABCDE like that. And they say it's under two transformation UV. It means you buat V dulu and then baru buat U. So the first arrow is V, the second arrow is U. Okay, kenapa benda ni penting? Why is it important to write this? Because if you don't write this, later when you describe, you tak tahu yang mana dulu tahu. Yeah, you faham maksud saya. Like for example, let's say you kena enlarge and then rotate. But later, you might go and write, let's say it's V is rotate, U is enlarge. Okay, ataupun let's say it's V enlarge, U rotate. But you go and write V enlarge, U rotate, then the whole thing wrong di. Sebab tu kita kena make sure we tulis betul-betul siapa first transformation, siapa second transformation, and also siapa object, siapa I1, siapa I2 lah. Alright, after you write all this, now we can describe. So let's write down transformation. V is, and then nanti kita tengok lah, transformation V is blah 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 blah. And then number 2, transformation U is blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay, so now let's check what is transformation V. Okay, V is the first transformation. So kita kena tengok JKLMN dengan JQRST lah. So JKLMN is the small one, JQRST is the big one. So confirm enlargement lah. Yeah, because the size tak sama mah. If the size tak sama, confirm is enlargement. Because you belajar 4 saja kan? Translation, reflection, rotation, enlargement. And enlargement sahaja yang akan tukar size image, right? So this is definitely enlargement lah. So we can already write already. It's enlargement. Tapi kalau you tulis macam ni, tak dapat full mark. If you just write like this, you will not get full marks. You have to write the isi penting. So for enlargement, what is the isi penting? You have to write down the center and the scale factor. So we have to write enlargement at center. So you have to mention about the center coordinate. And then you also have to find out the scale factor for the enlargement. Okay. So let's find out the center of enlargement first. So you can see this is the object, this is the image, right? Okay, before enlarge is N, after enlarge is T, before enlarge is M, after enlarge is S, from before enlarge is L, after enlarge is R, before enlarge is K, after enlarge is Q, before enlarge is J, after enlarge is still J. So definitely the center is at J. And then it's 40. Okay. Alright, if you want to use the draw line punya cara pun boleh. Yeah, because when you find center of enlargement, you just garis macam tu kan. Yeah, yeah, you get J also. Okay. But usually kalau ada satu titik yang tak tukar tempat after enlargement, that means that's the center already. If there's one point that never change place after the enlargement, it means before enlarge is still there, after enlarge also still there, that means that's the center already. Okay, so enlargement at center J lah. And it would be better if you write the coordinate also. So 40, and then with scale factor, Okay, the scale factor formula is length of image bahagi length of object. So what is the image length? Okay, we can choose this. Let's say I choose this line lah. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 units, and then divide with the corresponding side, which is this side. So it will be 6 divided 3. Not 3 divided 6, 6 divided 3. Image bahagi object. So 6 divided 3 is 2. Those scale factor is 2. Okay. Of course, you can also take this one, bahagi this one, can also. You will get same answer. Okay. Alright, now we can do the next one, transformation U. Okay, U is from where to where? It's from JQRST to ABCDE. So mana JQRST? So it's the big one. And then to ABCDE. Okay, so this one confirm not enlargement. Why? Because the same size ma. Okay. All right. So let's write down all the transformation. We have translation, we have reflection, we have rotation, putaran, and then we have enlargement, pembesaran. Okay. All right. So let's do it by process of elimination. So you know this one to this one is not enlargement. Yeah, because the size sama. Okay, the size sama, so it's not enlargement. So it's either translate, reflect, or rotate. So which one is the easiest one to check out of the three? Translation. Translation is very easy to check because translation is basically just move left to right, up, down like that. And I know it's not translation because you can see the 90-degree is at the top left corner. But this one, the 90-degree is at the top right corner. That means the orientation of the shape already changed. It means the shape ada terbalik sikit dah. Dia ada macam terbalik sikit dah. So the orientation sudah tukar. So it's either reflection and rotation, right? Okay, dua-dua ni yang paling susah untuk tengok. Yeah, it's like very hard to determine whether it's reflection, rotation. That's why I teach my students to draw lines. Yeah, cara yang saya ajar student macam ni, you join the line, tapi you kena join dengan corresponding point. And after joining the line, if all the lines are parallel, that means it's reflection. If all the lines parallel lah, but if all the lines intersect nicely at one point, has to be every single line also intersect at here, then this will be rotation 180. And the intersection point, that one is the center. That's the center of rotation. Okay, this intersection point. Then what about if dia bukan ini, bukan ini? Okay, kalau bukan dua-dua ni means dia rotation 90. If dua-dua ni pun bukan, dia rotation 90. Okay. Okay, so now I will start to join the line. But make sure when you join line, you have to join the correct points. Okay. So for example, A dia sama dengan yang mana? Yang mana titik yang sepadan dengan A. So it's like a sengit, like tajam a bit, right? So some of you might go and join this, but it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. It has to be this one. Okay. Okay, if you are confused, you can join the obvious one first. Yeah, the 90-degree, right? Because this is the only 90-degree corner, so it's very obvious. The 90-degree corner of course is this one. Okay, this one everyone know. Okay, so point C yang sama dengan dia is point R. Okay. Okay, now you can join the D. So D and C, the jarak is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So definitely you will join the jarak yang 6 unit lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, both also 6 ah. Okay, so both also 6, then which one you want to take? Okay, I'll tell you now, it's the Q. Wait, is it? No, it's the S, I think. Yeah, because the whole thing flip like that, right? So like it's like that, and then the D will be S. Yeah. So it should be S. Yeah, so this question is actually a bit hard. Yeah, because the shape is like very hard to apa? Very hard to check which one is the corresponding. And then E, okay, this one is T. Yeah, correct, right? Yeah, because this whole thing is like pusing macam tu. Okay. Yeah. So it's very obvious already lah. It's rotation 90. Yeah, that's why the line is so messy. That's why the line is so, it's like all over the place. It's not like all lines parallel or like case yang macam ni, right? So this definitely rotation 90. And then this one join with, let's see, the whole thing flip so like this lah. Yeah, and then B is Q. Yeah, I think betul already. This is how it should look like. Okay. Yeah. Okay, after joining all the line, now we know already it's not reflection, it's not rotation 180. Okay. Okay, some of you might say this like, sir, there's an intersection here. Okay, no. Uh, Even if there's intersection here, you cannot say it's rotation 180. Okay, the rotation 180 is only when all the line, every single line intersect at one point. Okay, this one is, yeah, it's like there's two intersection, and then this line it doesn't even touch, so it's not rotation 180. So it's definitely rotation 90. So I can write now, it's rotation 90 degree. Okay, but for when you describe rotation, you have to mention the ECC penting, and the ECC penting ada tiga. You have to mention about the angle, and I already mentioned that is 90 degree. And then the second thing you have to mention about the center, and then also the direction, whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise. And in order to know the direction, clockwise, anti-clockwise, we first need to know the center first, right? So how to find the center of rotation? You have to use the compass. You have to use compass, and then draw perpendicular bisector. But I'm not gonna show you the compass method because I'm using laptop, so I cannot show you using compass. But I will show you. I will tell you how I will get the answer. Okay, first of all, you have to draw perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular bisector means what? You have to go to the line, find out the middle, and then draw a line that is 90 degree. Okay, so but first we have to choose any of these two lines. Kita kena pilih dua-dua garisan daripada sini dulu. But make sure the two lines you choose, they are not parallel. So I will not choose this line and this line. You know why? Because these two lines, they are almost parallel. They are almost parallel. And if they are almost parallel, later when we draw perpendicular bisector for both these two lines, it will be very difficult to find out the intersection. So we try to choose two lines that is not parallel. Okay, that is not parallel. So I will choose these two lines. You can see these two lines is clearly not parallel, right? So I will erase the rest of the line. Okay. Actually, you want to leave it there also can lah, but I will just erase it. Yeah. So I'll just leave with these two lines. Now it's time to perform the perpendicular bisector. Okay, perpendicular bisector, if you use compass, you know compass, right? Jangka lukis like this, and then this is the tajam one, and then this one is the one yang ada pencil, this one, right? So what you will do if you use pencil, if you use pencil, if you use the compass, the tajam one you cucuk at here lah. And then you lukis atas, lukis bawah, and then same thing you cucuk here, lukis atas, lukis bawah, and then you join. And then repeat the same process for this, and then the intersection between the two, that's the center. Okay. But I told you already, now I'm using laptop now, so I will, instead of doing that, I will show you another method. So I will show you a method yang tak guna compass. So when we do perpendicular bisector, we're basically drawing a line that is cut the line in the middle. Yeah, cut this line in the middle, and then it will be 90 degree, right? So just find the midpoint of the line and then draw a line that is 90 degrees. So let me tell you how I will do it without compass. You just count got how many kotak here. How many kotak here? So 1, 2, 3, turun bawah, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from here to here is 7 kotak, but it's half of it would be 7 divided 2, which is 3.5. So what you can do is you kira 3.5 from here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, but 0.5, 3.5. So it's here middle lah. So the middle point is here. This is the midpoint. And after knowing the midpoint, now it's time to draw a line that is 90 degree. But how? Okay, you can use a ruler. Yeah, you can use a ruler. So let me tell you how I'll do it. I will place my ruler. Okay, we all know a ruler looks like this, right? So you all know the ruler here is 90 degree. So what you can do? Okay, you can place the ruler like this. Yeah, make sure it's like, because here is 90 degree. Okay, so when you draw the line, you put your pencil here, you draw like this. Faham kan? Okay, so now let me tell you what I'm doing now. I'm actually placing a ruler on my laptop screen. I'm not joking. I'm doing it now. Like I'm explaining to you what I'm doing it now, but you can't see it now because yeah, you're just watching the screen. But let me tell you, I'm literally placing the ruler like how I mentioned just now, and I'm placing the ruler here now like this. Okay, and now I will draw the line. So let me draw this. Okay, so like this, and I'm literally following the ruler and then draw a 90-degree line. Yeah, and I'm making sure that it's 90 degree. Okay, yeah, so that's all. That's your first perpendicular bisector. Okay, this is the first line. Okay, now repeat the same process for this line right here lah. Okay, same thing. I will also do it without using compass. So let's count got how many horizontal distance first. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until here, right? Yeah, it's this line ma. So it will 7 kotak also. And then divide 2 is 3.5. So let's count 1, 2, 3.5 middle here, right? So middle here, that means this is the midpoint. Yeah, I already successfully get the midpoint. Now it's time to draw the perpendicular bisector, and I will do it like just now. So later I will place the ruler like this. because I want to draw a 90-degree line. So I'll place the corner of the ruler here, and then just draw a line like this. Okay, you draw here, and then you extend the line like this. Okay, okay. So now I will do it now. So I'm holding my ruler with my left hand, and I'm placing it like just now, like how I mentioned it just now, right? I'm literally placing it like this now, and then now I will use my pencil, and then I will just draw it lah. Okay, and making sure it's on the ruler line, and then I just draw it. Okay, and there you have it. So this is how to draw the perpendicular bisector without the compass. Okay, without using compass. Okay. All right. So you can see that the two perpendicular bisector intersect at this point. So that is the center. Okay. Please don't go and take this point or this point or this point. No, 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 no. This is not the center. Hey guys, the center will be the intersection of the two perpendicular bisector. This is not. Ini bukan perpendicular bisector. Jangan ambil tu. You have to take this point. Okay, because this is the intersection point of the two perpendicular bisector line. So now we know already the center is -1, -2. So we can write rotation 90 degree. Oh, we have to write clockwise, anti-clockwise, right? Okay, we already know the center is here, so we can draw a cross. We can draw a cross, and when we draw a cross, we will know already is clockwise or anti-clockwise. So we draw a cross like this. So remember, it's from I1 to I2, right? Yeah. So I1, I2 definitely is like this. So when you're moving like this is ikut arah jam or lawan arah jam? Lawan arah jam, right? Yeah, jump is like that, man. This one is like this, so it's anti-clockwise. So you can write anti-clockwise and then write the center. Okay, so rotation 90 degree anti-clockwise about center. Okay, the center you find it lah, -1, -2. That's the answer. Okay, yeah. So remember when you describe rotation, kena ada tiga isi-isi penting. You have to write down the direction, the center, and then also the angle. Okay, okay. So hopefully you understand now. So that's all for this. Now we do the next one. Okay, B. Given that the pentagon ABCD represents the region with area. Okay, I see this word, I know already. Confirm, use this formula. AI equals to K square times AO. So in transformation, there's only one formula you learn, the area formula. So whenever they mention area in the transformation question, automatic confirm you will be using this formula. Area of image equals K square times area of object. So they said ABCDE. Let's go and check. The area is 192. So ABCDE mana? Oh, the big one. So this is 192. Okay. So that is the area of the final image. Okay, 192. Okay. Now what? Calculate the area of shaded region. Okay, you already know ABCDE is the image. So you can just put it here. And then the K you already find it just now is 2. Remember when you describe just now you find it. So now you can find your AO, which is the area of object. But I know the soalan asked for area of shaded region, right? So that means later I have to minus lah. Okay, but let's tekan this first. 192 divided 4, you will get 48. And the unit will be automatic, will be cm square also. Yeah, same with this. Now, to find the area of shaded region, okay, let's go and check where's the shaded region. The shaded region is here, right? But you already know the whole thing is 192. Yeah, because this area and this area will be same. Yeah, because they are the same size. So you can just take 192 minus the object, and the object is 48. I already find it just now. Okay. So the shaded region area is 192 minus 48. So the final answer is 144, and the unit is in cm square, right? So yeah, that's all. That's the answer. Okay. Alright. So sekarang kita boleh sambung lah. Okay, number 15. What chapter is this? Measures of dispersion. Okay, so I see got OGIF, right? So it's definitely the form 5, the group data punya lah. And it's chapter 7. So it's measures of dispersion and it's for group data. Okay, data yang terkumpul. And why is it group data? Because, yeah, you got class. Okay, okay, let's read the question. Diagram 14 shows the mass in kg of mangosteen purchased by 30 fruit seller. So there will be 30 different mass here. And then A, determine the size of class, hence complete table 4. Okay, let's go to table 4 now. Wait, where is it? Okay, this is table 4, but they want to determine the size of class, right? So how can we write the class here? Okay, if you want to know the size of satu class berapa, you can find the, okay, you go to this here, you find the highest value and the smallest value. You cari nilai paling besar and nilai paling kecil. Yeah, I remember teaching this to my own students. So when you find size of class, you take the highest number and the lowest number, and then you take the highest minus lowest, and then divide with how many class you have. So they already say here they want the how many class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It means you want it to be, you want 7 class. You want 7 class. So but all the 7 class you have to cover all the value from here to here, like all the 30 mass here. So if you want 7 class, and you have to cover all, you have to make sure you find out the smallest value and the biggest value first. So the smallest value from here is what? 15. And then the highest will be 49. Okay. And then to do A, you have to find the size of class, right? So the size of class will be 49 minus 15 divide with 7. Why divide 7 is because you want be 7 class. So to find the size of one class, you simply just take the difference divide by 7 to get roughly satu class punya size. Okay. Yeah, because 49 minus 15 will be 7 class punya size. So you want 7, right? So divide by 7. So when you divide 7, you will get like a decimal, right? So what is the decimal? 4.86. And then dot 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 dot. So you can run it off. So it's like lebih kurang satu class size is 5 lah. So the size of class is 5. Now complete table 4. Okay, you already know the size is 5, right? So now you can start with the smallest number 15. So the smallest number is 15. So definitely the first class will be 15. But you jangan plus 5, huh? If you do plus 5, it will be 20. But it's wrong already. Because 15 to 20, the size of class is 6. Because because when you count the size, you actually include the 15. Okay? So you can use your finger to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You see? The size of class is not 5, it's 6. Okay? That is why you have to do until 19. Okay, you have to do until 19. If you want the size of class to be 5, it has to be until 19. Yeah, 15 to 19, the size is 5. And then what comes after 19? 20. And then here I plus 5, right? Then here also I plus 5 lah. So 19 plus 5, 24. And then same thing here, 20 plus 5, 25. 24 plus 5, 29. And this one plus 5 is 30. This one 34. Plus 5, 35. Plus 5, 39. Plus 5, 40. Plus 5, 44. Plus 5, 45. Plus 5, 49. So now we are done lah. Alright, and then what is this? That's the frequency lah. That's the frequency. And they already calculate all the frequency for you. So we don't have to look at the rest of the data anymore because they already write down the frequency for me. So we can just continue already. Okay. Okay, now imagine they never write the frequency. Then what we will do is we will use the tally method. So for example, 33, then you go to the class 33 ma. So you go to the class 33 is 30 to 34, and then you put a line, and then you go to the next number, you put another line, use the tally method, and then when you reach 5, you potong like this, and then you just do it for all the 30 numbers, and then write the frequency lah. Okay, itu kalau dia tak bagi frequency lah, tapi ini sudah bagi mah, so tak payah buat semua tu. So that's all for the A. Now B, based on table 4, calculate the mean of mangosteens. So let's do it now. How to find mean? Okay, this is a group data, guys. So when it's a group data, how do you find mean? Okay, the mean formula, I always mention, it will be the sum of x divided by n. X is the data, n is the bilangan data. Okay, but if the data has frequency, then you use this second formula, sum of fx divide the sum of f. Okay, so there's two formula for mean, but bila masa kita guna yang atas bila tak ada frequency. Tapi kalau ada frequency, we use the formula yang bawah lah. And usually kalau dia group data, confirm it will have frequency one, because group data dia ada size. I mean the other class. So when there is class, usually it has frequency. So we will use the formula yang bawah lah. And also for group data, you have to use midpoint for the x. Okay, yeah, you have to use midpoint for the x. So this is your x, this is your frequency, but your x is the class, right? So you have to find out the midpoint. Okay, so I will write MP here, and I will find out the midpoint for every single class here. Okay, so to get midpoint, how to find midpoint? Just take the lower limit plus with the upper limit, divide 2. So 15 plus 19 divide 2, 17, 20 plus 24 divide 2, 22, and same thing, 27, 32, 37, 42, 47. Okay, now I have all the midpoint and I have all the frequency. Now I can use the mean formula here. So first I will draw a line. Okay, the mean formula says has to take sum of fx. It means you have to take the x But the x I told you already, use midpoint times with the frequency. So 17 times 1, 22, and then jumlahkan, right? So plus with 22 times 2, plus with 27 times 4, plus with 32 times 5, plus with 37 times 8, plus with 42 times 7, plus with 47 times 3. And then divide with the total frequency. And the total frequency is 30. Because I know it just now, atas they mentioned already. Okay. So now we just have to calculate the atas jumlah, and then we will get 1060, and then answer divide 30 is 35.33. Okay, but they give a lot of decimal place, right? Like the other infinite decimal place. So I think I will write it in fraction, 106/3. Okay. Okay, if you want to write in decimal also can, but since the decimal is like recurring decimal, right? They keep on repeating sampai infinity. That is why I decide not to write in decimal. But if you want to write decimal, can also just write 35.33 lah. And since this one is the mass, so I'll just write the unit kg like this. Okay. Okay, that's all. Sudah siap B. Now let's do C pula. Okay, so B done. Alright, C. Diagram 15 shows an ogive that represent the mass in kg mangosteen purchased by 30 fruit seller. Oh, so they already okay, so they already uh draw the ogive in diagram 15. So let's have a look at the ogive. Okay, so this is the ogive. Alright, so all these numbers is the upper boundary lah. Yeah, because when you draw ogive, you use upper boundary for the x-axis. So 14.5, 19.5, let's check. Yeah, 19.5, that's the upper boundary. And then 24.5, 29.5. But the reason why they start at 14.5 is because they want the ogive must start at 0. That's why you have to tambah satu class here and make sure the first frequency is 0. Okay. And then the y-axis will be the cumulative frequency. Okay, so far, okay. And then based on ogive, construct a box plot on the diagram given in answer space. Okay, box plot means you have to draw this plot kotak. Okay. Yeah, so I remember teaching this recently to my own students. Yeah, this one is like they ask this. They usually ask this one lah. When they give or give usually they will ask you to find the Q1, Q2, Q3 ataupun interquartile range ataupun box plot. Okay, so to find the box plot, you need the Q1, Q2, Q3 also. Okay, and you also need the minimum and the maximum, of course. Okay, all right. So let's find out the minimum, maximum value and Q1, Q2, Q3, and you will find it from OGIF. Yeah, you'll find it from the OGIF. Okay, so where's the okay? So yeah, they actually provide the space here. So we can just draw it here. Okay, you can see they already draw the x-axis cantik cantik for you, and the scale is exactly the same with the ogive here. You see, the scala is exactly the same. So let me tell you the minimum value. You will choose the ogive start punya point. So this is the start punya point, and then the end punya point, that's the maximum 49.5. So we can straight away go to 14.5, 49.5, and put a point there. So 14.5 and 49.5. Yeah, this is the minimum and the maximum. Now we have to get the Q1, Q2, Q3. Okay. Okay, for the Q1, Q2, Q3, you have to do some working first. So you have to kosong satu baris, Q1 equals, kosong satu baris, Q2 equals, kosong satu baris, Q3 equals. Okay, why I have to kosong satu baris? Because for Q1, you have to take 1 over 4 times the total frequency. Q2, you have to take 1 over 2 times the total frequency. Kalau Q3, it will be 3 over 4. And then the total frequency is 30. Yeah. So we have to times with 30, 30, 30. Okay, 1 over 4 times 30, 12 point, sorry, 7.5. And then this one is 15. This one is 22.5. So what I have to do now, I have to go to the graph, pergi cari 7.5, and after I cari 7.5, I plot a dotted line. Okay, so go to the graph, cari 7.5 on the y-axis. Okay, 7.5 will be 5 and 10 exactly middle here. That's 7.5. And then just draw a line. And then the moment you reach the graph, you tarik bawah. So this is your Q1. Okay, so your Q1 dekat mana? The Q1 is actually 29.5 tambah satu kotak. Okay, how to know the satu kotak sini berapa? Okay, first you find the difference here. And then you take the difference bahagi 10. So 34.5 minus 29.5, you get 5. So the difference here is plus 5. And that means satu kotak is 5 divided by 10 lah. So 0.5. So to get this, I have to take 29.5 plus 0.5, which is 30 lah. So now you know the first one is 30. So I will write my working here 30, and also at the same time draw the line at the space here. So 30 is around here. So I'll make sure the line is like this. 29.5 tambah satu kotak. Okay. Okay, so done already. Now what? Now for the Q2. So the Q2 you have to tarik from 15. So let's go to 15 and then find the median, the Q2. So 15 is here and then tarik. And the moment dia sentuh graph, kita kena tarik bawah lah. Okay, so where is it? It's 34.5 tambah 4 kotak. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if it's 34.5 tambah 4 kotak, berapa tu? 1 kotak is 0.5 mah. So 34.5 plus 0.5 times 4 lah, which means plus 2 lah. So you get 36.5. Okay. You can use your calculator to help you. So it's at 36.5. So I'll write here 36.5 and make sure you do it in the plot in the box in the here also. So 34.5 tambah 4 kotak will be here. So just draw a straight line like this. Okay. Okay, this line I have to make it panjang sikit. Okay, I think it's good. Okay, so this is how it looks like now. Okay, now for the last one, Q3, kita kena tarik daripada 22.5. So 22.5 dekat mana? 20, 25 middle here lah. So you do a dotted line. And the moment you sentuh itu graph, you tarik bawah. Okay, where is it? Satu kotak, dua kotak, tiga kotak. Yeah, so it's at here. So dia dekat mana? 39.5 tambah tiga kotak. So satu kotak is 0.5. So you can use your calculator. You press 39.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5. Three times. Eh? Okay, my calculator give me 41. So yeah lah, that's the answer lah. That's the Q3 answer lah, 41. And then also you have to draw the box plot. So you have to draw a line at 41. So 39.5 tambah tiga kotak. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the 41. Okay, after doing this, now you can join the box plot. So this line will join like that. And then atas punya line pun kena join. So this line I can just panjangkan. Alright, and then what's next? Join this line right here and join this line right here. Okay, so this is how you draw the box plot. Okay, I'm done with the box plot. That's all. So now we can do the next part. Okay, what's next? So soalan C1, they asked to draw box plot, sudah siap. Now C2, from the box plot constructed in 15C1, state the shape of distribution of data. Okay, there's only three shapes you have to learn for box plot lah. But for histogram, that one got a lot of different shape. But for box plot, there's only three only. It's either left skewed, or right skewed, or symmetric. Okay. Okay, symmetric is when the box plot, both side of the box same size and both side of the line same size, then it's symmetric. Right skewed is when the right side of the box is bigger. The right side of the box is bigger, then it's right skewed. Or uh both sides same size, but the right side of the line is longer. This one is also right skewed. So I repeat one more time. Symmetric is when both box same size and then both line also same size. But right skewed is when the right side of the box is bigger, or you can say, or if it's equal size, the right side of the line bigger, that one also right skewed. And then for left skewed is when the left side of the box is bigger. The left side of the box is bigger, or you can say uh both side of the box same size, but the left side of the line is longer. That one is also left skewed. Okay, that means we have to check the size of box first. Size of box kena tengok dulu. So we check the size of box. So you can clearly see the left side is way longer, right? Yeah, this side of the box is bigger. So it's definitely left skewed. Okay, it's definitely left skewed. Okay. If dia punya both side box sama panjang, then baru kita tengok panjang line. Tengok line yang mana panjang lah. Kalau kiri panjang, then left skewed lah. Kalau kanan panjang, right skewed. So left skewed is the answer. In bahasa Melayu is pencong ke kiri. Pencong ke kiri. Alright. That's all for this. Hope you understand. Let's continue. Okay, now we are at bahagian C. So they ask us to jawab satu soalan, but I will jawab both 16 and 17 in this video. Okay, 16A. Puan Johara is the teacher advisor of the STEM club at SMK Sentosa. She conducted a survey on the pocket money of a group of students during their first meeting. The bar chart in diagram 16 shows the pocket money of a group of STEM club students. So with pocket money 7 ringgit, there's how many students? 4 students. And then this one is 6 students with pocket money 8 ringgit. 8 students with pocket money 9 ringgit, and then 7 students yang ada pocket money 10 ringgit. Okay, and then calculate the percentage of students who have pocket money less than 9 ringgit. Okay, less than 9 means kurang daripada 9. Tak ada line So it means 9 is not included. So you only tengok 7 and 8 lah. So the bilangan student yang pocket money less than 9 is 4 plus 6, which is 10. So you have 10 students that have pocket money less than 9. Tapi dia mau percentage. So how to convert to percentage? You have to over with the total and then times 100. Yeah, 10 student is the pocket money less than 9. So you have to bahagi dengan jumlah and then times 100. Okay, the jumlah will be 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7. So 25 lah. So you tekan this, you will get 40%. So that's the answer. Okay, B. Okay, this one I know which chapter. Form 4, chapter 4. The set punya chapter. Okay, I will skip the Malay one. I'll read English one. During the first meeting, Puan Johara planned 3 STEM activities for the members of STEM club. Diagram 17 shows a Venn diagram with the universal set, unit P, union Q, union R. Okay, it means P gabung dengan Q, gabung dengan R is the universal. Okay, okay. And then given that set P is students who took part in the paper tower challenge. So I will straight away go P and write it here. Paper tower. Okay, and then set Q students who took part in straw plane. So I'll go Q here and write what? Straw lane. And then set R students who took part in building straw bridge. So I'll go R here and write what? Straw bridge. Okay. Then sir, what about the intersection? Okay, the intersection is student yang took part in 2 activity lah. Dia ada 2 activity. Like for example, this one 3, this one is straw plane and straw bridge. And bukan or. Okay. Yeah, because and is for intersection. Or is for union. So this is the intersection, the intersect region. So it's straw plane and straw bridge. And this intersection, this overlap is also for paper tower and straw plane. Okay, okay, now let's keep reading here. NP is 35. Okay, the P35 you tak boleh tulis macam ni. Cannot. NP 35 means the number of elements in set P is 35. That means inside the whole P, it means Y plus X. Because X is also inside P. So it will be X plus Y equals 35. Okay. Next one, NQ is 40. So Q is here, right? So X plus 26 plus 3 is 40. Okay. So X plus 26 plus 3 is 40. Okay. Okay, last one, and R is 28. Cannot write 28 like that, wrong. Unless they say R only lah. Kalau dia cakap and R only, then you can write here. Because this is the region for R only. Tapi dia tak cakap only mah. Dia cakap R is 28. It means the whole R is 28. So 3 plus Z is 28. Okay. So where to write this? Okay, I'll just write it here lah. Okay, so 3 plus Z equals 28. So and then question 1 say find the value of X, Y, Z, right? The Z I can find already. 28 minus 3 lah, 25. Done. And then how to find X? X plus 26 plus 3 is 29 equals 40. So your X equals 11 lah. Betul lah. 40 minus 29 mah, 11 lah. Okay. So let me just write it here. X plus 26 plus 3 equals 40. Okay, and then the last one is this one, right? So X plus Y equals 35. Tapi X sudah dapat tadi. So 11 plus Y equals 35. So Y equals 35 minus 11 is 24. Okay, dia suruh cari X, Y, Z. Inilah jawapan dia. Alright, scroll down. Number 2, find the number of students who took part in one STEM activity only. Okay, do you realize all these numbers they never put dot. Dia tak ada letak itu titik. So kalau dia tak ada dot dia tak ada titik means ini semua adalah bilangan elements. Dia adalah bilangan. Dia bukan elemen, dia adalah bilangan. So now they are asking for bilangan murid yang mengambil bahagian dalam satu sahaja. One only. So if they want one only means you ambil ini. Yang overlap tak boleh ambil. Sebab overlap is for 2 activities. Yeah, it's overlap between 2 two set. Okay, so you ambil satu only lah. So y plus 26 plus z. But the y I sudah tahu, sudah cari tadi 24. So 24 plus with 26 plus with z which is 25. So you tekan semua ni dapatlah jawapan. So the answer is 75. Okay, and since all this is bilangan, that's why we can tambah. Ya, kita boleh tambah semua nilai ni sebab dia adalah bilangan. Kalau elemen tak boleh tambah lah. Kalau dia ada dot, dia adalah elemen. Elemen mana boleh tambah. Tapi kalau bilangan, boleh tambah. Alright, that's all. Okay, 16C, this one confirm from 4 chapter 9. The probability chapter. Okay, Roslan is a member of STEM club. Alright. During the first meeting, Roslan takes the bus to school, either bus A or bus B. And the probability of Roslan take bus A is 205. So for bus B, it will be 305 lah. Yeah. So bus A is 205, bus B 305. If he takes bus A, the probability he's late is 7 over 10. And if he takes bus B, the probability that he's late for school is 1 over 8. Okay. Complete the tree diagram in the diagram 18 in the answer space. Okay, let's look at the diagram first. So let's have a look at the diagram. Okay, I can see here it's either bus A or bus B, right? So let's tengok balik. What's the bus A probability? 2 over 5. And you have to know something. The total of here must always be 1. Same with here. The total must be 1 also. The total here probability must be 1 also. Because jumlah probability is always 1. So if the probability of bus A is 205, the other one would be 1 minus 205, which is 305. Okay. And if you take bus A, what's the probability of late? Let's read one more time. If you take bus A, the probability late is 7 over 10. So they already write here, L represents late. L prime is not late. So L is late, and the late they said is 7 over 10. So this is 7 over 10. So what's the probability of not late? 1 minus 7 over 10, 3 over 10. Okay, what about if you take bus B? Let's go. If you take bus B, the probability of late is 1 over 8. So the 1 over 8 is for L or L prime? L lah, for late kan? So L lah. And then this one is 1 minus 1 over 8, so 7 over 8. Okay, sudah siap. So easy. That's all. Number 2. Hence calculate the probability that Roslan will be late to school. Okay, so yang mana yang late to school? So this one is probability of taking bus A late. This one is bus A not late. This one is bus B late. This one is bus B not late. So yang mana probability of late? Ini dengan ni kan? So write down the possible outcome first, AL and BL, because these are the two outcome that is late. And then buka satu bracket, find out the probability lah. Okay, for bus A late, it will be 205 multiply darab dengan 7 over 10. And then BL will be 3 over 5, jalan ni kan. So 1 over 8. So 3 over 5 times 1 over 8. And then nothing between, you have to plus. Yeah, I have to plus. So it's this or this. So middle have to plus. Okay, you tekan all this, you will get the answer 71 over 200. So this is the probability of late. Okay, so probability of late is this one plus this one. Okay, that's all. Hope you understand. Let's continue. Okay, soalan D. Table 5 shows the achievement of 2 students from STEM club in 5 mathematics tests. So you have Adrian and Brian. So ada 5 test, ini markah dia. This question is very familiar lah. Yeah, it's very familiar. I forgot which state paper, whether it's the Penang one or the Kelantan, I'm not sure. But it's very familiar. Yeah, very familiar. Like, yeah, because they generally, this is what they ask when they want to ask the measures of dispersion. They usually ask this one. And then nak pilih satu orang lah, join competition lah, and you will always choose the one yang standard deviation lebih kurang. Yeah, it's always the same. Yeah, they always ask like recycling. They always recycling the question. That's why it's like very familiar lah. Okay, so this one is from. Okay, ada kelas tak? Tak ada kelas kan? Okay, tak ada kelas then from 4. Chapter berapa? Chapter 8. It's called measures of dispersion, but it's for the ungrouped data because no class. Tak ada class. Okay, so number 1, calculate the mean. Okay, first we have to check whether got frequency or not. If no frequency, then we will use this formula. But if there's frequency, then we will use this formula. Okay. Yeah, so there's 2 formula for mean. So for this question, there's no frequency, so we use this formula. Okay. So now we can start to find the mean, but they want for both students. Okay, so D1, I will find out the mean for Adrian, and then after I'm done, I'll find the Adrian mean for Brian lah. Okay, I'll draw a line. So the formula for mean, I'll use atas punya formula. Just take everything tambah. 60 plus 64 plus 90 plus 85 plus 50 Divide with n. N is bilangan data lah, berapa number. So ada 5. So divide 5. Alright, I got 69.8. Now, we find the mean for Brian. So I'll do it beside here. Mean of Brian. Okay, so same thing. I draw a line. And then I jumlahkan semua markah dia. 73 plus 58 plus 73 plus 65 plus 80. But I'm finding the average. So I divide with 5 because there's 5 tests. So the answer I got, if I tekan calculator, I get 69.8. Oh, it means Adrian and Brian have the same mean lah. Dia punya average dia sama. Okay. Okay, now question 2. Puan Johara wants to choose one of them to represent school in mathematics quiz. Determine who is eligible and give your justification. Okay, this question memang the exam comes out quite often one. Yeah, they always give you dua orang punya data and then ask you to choose one of them. And you will always choose siapa? You will always choose orang yang dia punya standard deviation smaller. Because smaller standard deviation means it's more consistent. Okay. Yeah, so you find the standard deviation. Okay. Because when you choose someone to enter competition, you want them to perform consistently. And also they both have the same mean. So it's like both have the same average. So it will just comes down to who perform more consistently. And that will be the guy that we will send to the competition. Okay. So to find the how consistent, you have to use the measures of dispersion and you will do standard deviation. When you compare between two person, you will always find the standard deviation, right? Okay, so I'm gonna write down the standard deviation formula for you. Okay, this formula tak ada frequency kan? So kalau tak ada frequency, the formula is like this: sum of x square over n minus mean square, and then the other square root. Like that. Okay. Okay, another formula, kalau ada frequency, kita buat macam ni: sum of fx square, and then sum of f, and then minus mean square. And then kalau dia group data, the x have to use midpoint. Okay. Okay, but this question we will not be using this. Okay, because it's not a group data, and also dia tak ada frequency. Okay, so we will just do it like that lah. Okay, so I will do it here. Find standard deviation of Adrian. Okay. Okay, so let's start now. Okay, I'll do it at the side here lah. Standard deviation of Adrian. Okay, so this one erase, this one erase. Okay, first step is draw the square root. And then draw a long line. So it'll be like this. And then like this. And then minus with mean square. Okay, so the formula, I write it here already, right? Sum of x square. It means all the data you have to square. After you square, you jumlahkan. Okay? So it becomes 60 square plus 64 square plus 90 square plus 85 square plus 50 square, like that. And then over n means over 5 minus mean square 69.8. Okay. Okay, now it's time to calculate this. Okay, nanti baru saya calculate lah. I write down the formula for Brian also. So same thing, square root, and then draw a garisan, and then minus mean square. And the mean will be 69.8 also, because they both have the same mean, right? And then this one is 73 square plus 58 square plus 73 square plus 65 square plus 80 square. Basically all the data square and then jumlahkan lah. And then divide with n, which is 5, and then minus mean square and then square root. Okay, I will usually tell my students, don't straight away give them the final answer. Try to write 2 baris. Okay. Don't straight away give them the final answer. So first you jumlahkan atas dulu. It means you tekan atas saja lah. So you tekan atas saja, you get 25521. And then the rest all you salin dulu. And then sekarang baru you tekan answer divide 5 minus 69.8 square equal and then square root answer. It means now you tekan the whole thing. Okay? So 15.24 you get. Same thing here. Don't give them the final answer first. Tekan atas dulu. So you get 24647. And also if you tekan atas macam tu, when you want to check your answer, it will be easy also. Yeah, it will be easier to check your answer later on. Okay, and then over 5 minus with the 69.8 square. And then now you can use the answer button. Divide 5 minus this one square and then square root the whole thing. Alright, 7.574. Okay, after finding the standard deviation for both students, now we can answer who is eligible and give your justification. So, who is eligible? You pilih yang standard deviation kecil. So, I will say Brian lah. Brian. Kenapa pilih yang standard deviation kecil? Because standard deviation kecil means dia punya dispersion, dia punya serakan lebih kecil. Serakan kecil means what? Dispersion small, it means consistent lah. Dia punya data tak begitu serak. Maksudnya dia lagi consistent. Dia punya performance lagi consistent. So I write Brian because he has what? Smaller standard deviation and he is more consistent. Okay. So I'll just write here since Brian has smaller standard deviation, sisihan piawai dia lebih kecil, therefore he is more consistent. He is more consistent. Okay, this is good enough for the reason. Okay, just make sure you mention smaller standard deviation and mention about being more consistent. Okay, okay, sudah siap. Okay, finally I'm at the last question, number 17. So let's finish it. Okay, this one is which chapter? Stamp duty. Okay, Form 3, chapter 3 is the consumer mathematics punya chapter. And under this topic, okay, this topic actually it comes out in your SPM also. Walaupun dia Form 3 and usually this topic students sangat lemah. Because why? They learned this long time ago. They learned this during Form 3. So they already forget everything. Okay. Okay, let me tell you this chapter you learn about what? First, you learn about the simple interest, the PRT, and then you learn about the compound interest formula, E bracket 1 plus R over N power NT. And then you also learn about ROI. Okay. The formula for ROI is take the total return, divide with the initial investment, times with 100. And then apa lagi? Loan repayment. Yeah, the loan repayment formula, and this one you have to find use A equals P plus PRT. And then if you want to find the monthly installment, you take the A, divide with the years, and then divide 12. Okay, so kalau nak cari monthly installment, ansoran bulanan, just take the A, divide with T, which is the years, and then divide 12. Okay, okay lah, this is just the rough idea to tell you what you have to study for your SPM. So all of this you learn in Form 3 chapter 3. Okay, but let me tell you, for this question we will only be doing this, yeah, only for the ROI. Yeah, because I read the question here already, return on investment, so guna ROI lah. So but all this also you have to know. Yeah, this one sometimes it come out in paper 1. Okay, and then the loan repayment monthly installment, yeah, this one also I pernah tengok dia keluar dalam paper 2. So basically all this you have to know lah. Okay, I'll come back to this question now. So let's read about this question. Puan Naili bought a house in January 2000 at a price of 260,000 ringgit. So this is the price of the house. She paid a 10% down payment. Okay, let's calculate the 10% now. So 10% times with the 260,000. So you get 26,000. So this is the down payment. And then they say later Puan Naili sold the house at a price of 530,000. So this is the selling price. So you realize when they sell more than the amount she spent. So it means later nanti ada return lah, ada profit. Okay, dia ada dapat untung sebab dia punya selling more higher than the buying price. Okay, after having owned it for 25 years, the total loan amount amortized to the bank was 380,000. So this is the loan. And then during that period, she managed to earn a rent of 80,000. So this is a income. Yeah, it's like a rent because when you earn rent means something you earn. So this duit yang masuk. And then other expenses incurred are as in table 6. Okay, stamp duty, commission, legal cost, ini semua duit yang keluar. So nanti kena tolak. Okay, number 1, state the type of investment made by Puan Naili. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you already forget about this because you learned this in Form 3 chapter 3. So I'll tell you now about the type of investment. Okay, so I'll give you, where should I write it? Okay, I'll just write it beside here. So this is the notes. Okay, so I'll write here type of investment. Okay, so actually this is, you learn this in Form 3 and there's 3 types. Okay, there's 3 types of investment. Okay, first type is called shares. Okay, and shares, usually what happens is you buy the company shares, and after buying it and after you own it for some time, you will sell it. But when you sell it, you will sell, the selling price will be higher than the amount you spend at first. Yeah, because you want to earn money, right? So the income will come in the form of capital gain. Capital gain means like profit lah. You will earn profit because your selling price is higher ma. You sell higher, You sell the selling price is lagi tinggi, so you earn from there. And another form of return you get is the in the form of dividend. You get in the form of dividend. Okay. Okay. Next type of investment is called unit trust. Okay, unit trust. Okay, kalau unit trust dia macam mana tahu? It's for those who have no knowledge of the purchase of shares. Okay, so I will just write here seek professional. Okay, seek professional. Okay, what's the meaning of seek professional? It means lah orang yang tak ada knowledge pasal shares. So what they do is they go and because they don't have any knowledge about the shares, so they can get help from a unit trust company and then ask the professional to do it for them. Okay, so the return will come in the same way, in the form of capital gain, in the form of profit dividend. It's just that yang ini dia suruh professional buat. Macam tu. Okay, the last one is called real estate. Real estate. Okay. Okay, real estate is when you invest in immovable asset. Immovable asset. What is immovable asset? Immovable, cannot move. Okay. So for example, what? For example, it would be a house. Okay, house, shop. So it's like house, shop, or some shop lot, something like that. Okay. So when you or residence, residence. So when you invest in this, these are called real estate. Okay, and you will earn the capital gain lah. Yeah, you will earn in form of capital gain, and also you will sometimes gain rent. Yeah, because when you invest in these kind of things, usually there's earn received. Yeah, you earn some rent, and capital gain you earn it is when you sell it lah. Yeah, because when you purchase it after some time you sell it, you will earn it. So this one Naili, you can see she actually earned the rent of 80,000. So yeah, that's the return you get from investing in real estate. And then also capital gain, she will also earn it because she actually sold the house. Okay. Okay, but the question one only asks for type of investment. So which type it is? Okay, it's real estate lah. Because it's about investing in a house and then selling it after owning it for 25 years. So it's real estate. Okay. Macam tu. And also one more thing I want to mention for the ROI question in the SPM, that is they will either ask for selling house, either it's selling house or selling shares. Itu dua saja. So the ROI they sometimes ask for selling house punya, and then satu lagi is the sell shares punya. But the shares punya is easier. Is easy. Is much more easy compared to the selling house one. The selling house one is usually when the students selalu cakap susah. Okay, because dia ada banyak benda, yang you kena ingat. Shares is like very easy. Just take the selling price minus the buying price and then plus with the dividend. That's it. But this one there's more stuff to remember. Okay. But actually it's also easy one lah. Okay. Okay, I'll teach you now. So second question, they want to find ROI, right? Okay, ROI formula I write here already. Total return divided initial investment times 100. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you now. The initial investment will be the 260,000. Yeah, initial investment means the paling starting you want to spend punya amount. Okay. So the initial investment means yang first you nak apa labur. So the first labur punya amount is 260,000 lah. Okay. But now I have to calculate the total return. So I'll write here total return first. So total return, you will first take the selling price, which is 530,000, minus with all the expenses lah. Okay. Okay, so you take 530,000, you have to minus with the down payment 26,000. Okay, you don't minus with the 260,000 that one tak boleh tolak tau. Because you only minus with down payment. And then after minus down payment, okay, what about the remaining 90%? Okay, the 10% is down payment, right? Remaining 90% you bayar guna loan. And then the loan they give you already. So the correct method is take the 530,000 minus 26,000 minus 38,000. Minus with the loan. Bukannya tolak dengan 260,000. Okay? Kenapa tak boleh tolak dengan 260,000? Because that's the initial investment. Yang tu kena tulis bawah nanti. Okay, so minus 26,000 and then minus with what? 380,000, that's the loan. Okay, and then the rent, that one have to plus. Because rent is like a return also, right? Return means profit lah. It's like profit. Okay, so 80,000 is duit yang masuk. So bila dia masuk means your total return will tambah lah. It's a type of profit. Okay, and then All the rest here minus lah. Minus 4500, minus 3000, minus 4000. Okay, so now I can press all this to get the total return. Okay, you have to wait for me. I need to press 530000 minus 26,000 minus 3800. Okay, how many zero for this? 300. Okay, I terlebih satu kosong tadi. Wait, 380,000 or guys, what is this? 380,000. Okay, correct lah, correct. So 530,000 minus 26,000 minus 380,000 plus 80,000 minus 4500 minus 3,000 minus 4,000. Okay, I got 192500. Okay, okay, nice, nice. So that's the total return, but I'm not done yet. I need now I can find the ROI. So the ROI will be the total return 192500 divide with the initial investment times 100. And I told you just now already, the initial investment will be the first house punya price. So 260,000. Okay. So before okay, so let's just tekan dulu lah. So berapa dapat? 74.04, and this one is automatic in percent already. Okay. So I want you all just to remember one thing. When you do ROI, and when it's like the selling house punya question, just remember, don't take the selling price minus with the total price. Always minus with the down payment. Just remember that. I just want you to remember that one thing. So again, selling price always minus with the down payment, not the whole price. Just the 10% down payment only. Okay. Yang whole price tu itu you tulis dekat initial investment. Just remember that. You remember that, then the rest will become easy already. Alright, that's all. I'll continue. Okay, soalan B pula. Diagram 19 shows the scale drawing. Okay, this one you learn in lower form. Okay, I forgot form 2 or form 3, but you learn in lower form. So this is a scale drawing, means this image. Okay, so let me tell you the keyword. Object means the real one, the actual size. Real ataupun actual, yang sebenar punya size. Image is the fake one. Or you can say the drawing, the lukisan. Okay, yeah. So this is the scale drawing. It means this is the image. Dia bukan yang sebenar punya size lah. Yeah, so 2.5 cm is not the sebenar punya size. Okay, so scale drawing of the plan of a garden located at the corner of Puan Ali's house, which is drawn to scale 1:200. Okay, when we write the scale drawing, we usually write in this format: image, ratio, object. Okay, so the fake image is the fake one. The ratio is 1. But the real size is actually 200. The ratio for the object is 200. Yeah lah, usually the drawing mesti smaller one mah. Yeah, and then object is usually the bigger. So now they says using pi 2207 calculate actual area in meter square of the garden. Okay, so actual, the keyword is actual mah. So you are finding object, but you are finding the area of object, and they want in meter square. So let me tell you how to find the area of object. First, you need to find out the size of the land of the. You need to know the radius of the actual garden first lah. So this one is 2.5 cm, right? But this is the image, the length of image. So what you do, you can use the scala 1/200. 1:200 is 1/200. And then atas letak length of image, bawah letak length of object. And then length of image is 2.5, but it's in cm. And then the length of object, I boleh cari lah, I letak x, right? So I can darab silang now. So your x will be 2.5 times 200. You get 500 cm. Okay, that means the actual radius is 500 cm. Yeah, 2.5 is the drawing, the image. But for the object, the radius is actually 500 cm. And now you sudah tahu dia punya radius. Now you can find the area lah. So the area of garden will be what? The area of the actual, the actual area lah. The actual area of garden. Okay, this is a sector. So to find area of sector, the formula is pi r square times with theta over 360. Because pi r square is how you get the area of full circle. But since you only want part of the circle so you times with theta of 360. So pi is 2207. Darab with the radius. Okay, the radius is 500 cm, right? And then darab dengan r square, and then times with angle of 360. Angle is 90 over 360 lah. Okay. Alright, so tekan all this and you will get the area answer. Let me press 22/7 times 500 square times 90 over 360. Okay, I got 19648. 19648. Uh, Sorry, 196428. 196428. And then let's write two decimal place, 0.57. Okay, what's the unit for this? cm square. But the soalan one in meter square, right? So we haven't finished yet. Okay, why is this in cm square? Because the 500 is in cm. Yeah, the 500 is in cm. So automatic this comes out in cm square lah. Okay, now you have to convert to meter square. Okay, 196428.57. How to convert? Have to divide with what? Okay, some students they will tell me 100. Yeah, because they thought 1 meter, because 1 meter is 100 cm, right? So they will say like, oh sir, if I want to convert from cm to meter, I divide 100 lah. And then they will say divide 100 here. Okay, wrong, wrong. The correct answer, you have to divide with 10,000. Okay, because this one is cm square. So if 1 meter is 100 cm square, what is 1 meter square? It will be 10,000 cm square. You know why? Because 1 meter square it actually comes from 1 meter times 1 meter. It means it's actually 100 cm times 100 cm. That's why 100 cm times 100 cm gives you 10,000. Okay. So I repeat, 1 meter square is 1 meter times 1 meter, and 1 meter is 100 cm according to here. So 100 cm times 100 is 10,000. That is why if you want to convert cm square to meter square, you have to divide 10,000. So this is the correct way. So you will get for final answer 1, 2, 3, 4. So 19.6. Okay, just write four significant figure lah. The rest all I don't need to write, and then meter square. So this is the final answer. Okay. Okay, let me tell you another way to do it. Another way to do it is you convert the 500 cm to meter first. Okay, which is 5 meter lah, because you divide 100 mah. And then only you use the formula. Then only you masuk dalam formula ni, dia akan jadi 22/7 times with 5 square times 90 over 360. And if you tekan this, you will straight away get in meter square lah. Okay. Okay, let me double check. Press now and make sure you really get the same times 25 times 90 over 360. Yeah, betul. I get 19.64. So you see the answer is same. Okay. It's just that this one I convert jadi meter dulu, baru I cari area. But this one is like I cari area dalam cm square baru convert. Okay, but actually both also you get same answer. Just make sure you know this. Just make sure you know this. How to convert cm to meter and cm square to meter square. Yeah, if you know this, then no problem. You will get the answer. Okay. Okay, that's all. Okay, 17C. Near Puan Naili's house, there is a jetty and a school. So this is the house, jetty, school. Diagram 20 shows the location of Naili's house, jetty, and the school. Okay, there's nothing important here. And then, given that the shortest distance from Naili house to the school is 195 meter. Mana? Naili to school, shortest distance 195 meter. So this is 195 meter. And the distance from Naili's house to the jetty is 105 meter, more than the distance from jetty to school. Wait, what? Naili to jetty. So Naili to jetty is 105 more than the distance from jetty to school. So I can jadikan jetty to school within distance X dulu, and then this one jadi 105 plus X lah. Yeah, because we don't know the distance here, right? But we know this one is 105 tambah dengan ni. So I can jadikan X dulu. And then calculate the distance in meter from Puan Naili's house to jetty. It means they want to find this jarak right here lah. But first I need to find X first. After I cari X, baru I boleh ganti masuk tambah 105. Okay, how do you find X? Well, first of all, they already put a 90-degree here. So what shape is this? Right angle triangle. And usually, what formula we can use for right angle triangle? The Pythagoras theorem, or you can use the SOHCAHTOA, the sin cos tan, right? The trigonometry. But this question doesn't involve angle, so we will not use the SOHCAHTOA. We will use the Pythagoras theorem. And we can how to say, form a formula with these three sides using Pythagoras theorem. So the Pythagoras theorem says what? A square plus B square equals C square, where C is the longer side, the hypotenuse. So for this case, the hypotenuse is 195. So now it becomes, so we can write it as x square plus 105 plus x square equals to 195 square. Okay. All right. I want to change a bit. This one I want to write x plus 105. Actually, it's the same thing lah. Okay. But yeah, I just prefer writing it like this. Okay. Now it becomes x square plus. Okay. How to kembang this? Okay. When we have a plus b square, the correct way to expand, when you expand, you'll be a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so this is the formula that I will use now. So first I will take x square, and then I will take 2 times AB, which is 2 times x times 105. So you will get 210x. And then the last step is b square, which is 105 square. So I'll get 11025. And then the 195 square, you just get 38025. Yeah, you use your calculator to help you for this part lah. Okay, nampak ada square kan? So bila ada square means you have to susun everything on one side equals 0. Yeah, because it's a quadratic. So everything on one side equals 0, and then general form lah. Okay, x square plus x square is 2x square, and then 210x, the one you write next. Okay, this one you have to move here, become minus, because you want it to be general form. General form must equal 0. 11025 minus 38025, negative 27,000. Okay, now before you factorize, can I simplify this? Yes, 2102 27,000, all this number can divide by 2. So bahagi 2 x square, bahagi 2 105x, bahagi 2 negative 13500. Sekarang baru you tekan calculator, and the calculator will give you two answer. So you get 75 and negative 180. But here you have to write bracket bracket equals 0, and then the 75 you have to pindah balik jadi x minus 75. Negative 180 pindah balik jadi x plus 180. Okay. Alright, now you have dapat your x already. But x is the panjang from here to here, right? So logic tak kalau panjang sini negative 180? Tak logic. So kena reject. Because x is panjang, panjang tak ada negative. Yeah, it's in meter, right? Everything is in meter. So meter tak boleh ada negative. So the only answer that makes sense here is 75 meter. Okay. Tapi ini bukan jawapan. Dia suruh cari distance from Naili's house to jetty. So Naili's house to jetty is not 75. It's 105 plus x. So the answer should be what? The answer should be 105 plus 75, like this. So the answer is 180. And it will be in meter lah. Yeah. So that is the answer. Okay. Alright, that's all. Okay, finally, last question. Let's finish this. Okay, this one is definitely trigonometry from 5 chapter 6. Okay, diagram 31 shows the water depth recorded at the jetty near Puan Naili's house. Okay, so this is the water depth. Y represents the depth of water in meters. So the y-axis is depth in meter. Dia punya dalam. Okay, and the x represents the number of hours after midnight. So this number of hours. And the graph of function is represented by y equals a cos bx plus c. So yeah, you can clearly see this is a cos graph because the shape is like an underwear, right? Okay, now it says soalan A. Let's go down. Okay, I'll do it here. Write down the equation of graph in the form of y equals a cos bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constants. Okay, first of all, we need to find out the value of a, b, c first. Okay, all right, let's talk about what is a, what is b, what is c. B will tell you the number of cycle in 360. Okay, number of cycle in 360. In other words, how many cos graph you have to draw in 360. Okay, like this is considered one cos graph. Okay, so they are asking, we need to write, for the B we have to write how many cos graph in 360. And then for A we have to write the amplitude. Okay, and there is a formula to find amplitude. You just take the maximum minus minimum divide by 2. Okay, because amplitude is the jarak between what? Amplitude is the jarak between the center line and the highest point. So you can just take the total jarak, maximum minus minimum, and then bahagi 2, you will get the amplitude. That's how you do it. Okay, and then C is trying to tell you whether the graph move up or move down. If the C value is positive, means the whole graph have to move upwards. If turun bawah means negative, C is negative. Okay, let's find out the amplitude first. So amplitude, so we can see the maximum is here, right? Until here. But we need to know this one how much. So what we can do, we can find the difference here first. So I'm going to press 2.7 minus 1.8. And then after the difference after I get the difference, I divide by 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because there's 3 potongan here. Okay, 2.7 minus 1.8 is 0.9. So from here to here plus 0.9. But I want to know satu kotak berapa. So 0.9 bahagi 3. So I get 0.3. That means this is 1.8 plus 0.3. So it's 2.1. And then what about this? This one is 0.9 lah. So to get the amplitude, first you take 2.1 minus with the 0.9 and then divide 2 because you're trying to get half the distance. Okay. 2.1 minus 0.9 will be the total distance, and then divide 2 to get half lah. So you get 0.6. So now I have my A. Now for the B, number of cycle in 360. Okay. Okay, this one is very easy. You just take 360 divide with the period. Period means the time taken for one course graph. So as you can see, one complete course graph habis dekat 8, right? Now imagine you draw until 360. Ada berapa course graph? So 8 is one course graph. Tapi you kena darab, boleh buat berapa kali baru sampai 360. Just take 360 bahagi 8 lah. Ya, bahagi 8. Okay? And so just take 360 divide with the period. So let me press. So I got 45. Okay. Okay, let me explain more on this. So when I say period, what's the meaning of period? Period is the time taken ataupun the horizontal distance for one cycle. Okay. So again, what's period? Period is the horizontal distance for one cycle. So for this, you can see one cycle, the horizontal distance is 8, right? But you are want to draw until 360. You want to know until 360 got how many? So just take 360 divide with 8. So you get 45. It means if you keep going until 360, you will have 45 of this. Yeah, you can draw 45 course graph. There will be 45 cycle in 360. Okay, last one is the C. C is just basically write whether the graph got shift up or shift down. And clearly, the graph got shift up. You know why? Because the normal course graph usually start at 1 and then bawah -1, this one is 0. Okay, and you can see this one clearly got moved up. So your C will be positive. But positive how many? Okay, first you find out the center. You can find out here first. Okay, yeah, because the amplitude, remember, is because the total height is here, right? So half of it is where? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of it is here, which is 1.8 minus 0.3. You get 1.5. In other words, your C is 1.5. Yeah, because originally it's at 0, but now the center line moves up until 1. It's here already. So your C is 1.5. Understand? Yeah, because originally it's like down here, but now it's moved up from 0, move up to 1.5. Yeah, the center line change from 0 to 1.5. That means the C is 1.5. Okay. Okay, now you are done with the ABC. Now you can write it in this form. Y equals A, which is 0.6 cos BX, so cos 45x plus 1.5. Okay. All right, that's it. Now we can do the last part. Second question, find the depth of water. Means find Y lah. Yeah, find Y. Because the Y-axis, this Y is represents the depth, right? When the time is 2.5, means the X is 2.5 lah. Yeah, because the X-axis time is 2.5, right? Yeah, they told you up here already, Y represents depth, X represents hours. So Y is the depth in meter, X is the time in hours. Okay. So I think it's very easy lah. You just sub inside this equation. Yeah, so easy. So just sub Y equals 0.6 multiply with cos 45 times X plus 1.5, and then the X is 2.5, and also the unit is already same with the unit in the axis. So you don't have to convert the unit. And if you tekan this, the answer will automatically come out in meter. Yeah, because the Y is in meter, X is in hours. So if the X is in hours, you start muscle automatic, it will come out, the Y will be in meter. Okay. So I'm gonna press the 45 times 2.5 dulu, and then tekan cos answer, tutup bracket, plus 1.5 times 0.6. Okay, I silap tekan di, wait, cos answer, tutup bracket, plus 1. Sorry. Kena darab dengan 0.6 dulu. Sorry. You have to tekan this, times 0.6, then only plus. You cannot plus dulu because kena buat darab dulu, right? Darab bahagi dulu baru tambah tolak kan. Okay, and then baru plus. Alright, my calculator give me 1.2703. Okay, just write 4 significant figure. Okay, usually I'll just write 4, so 1.270 lah. Okay, the next digit is 3, so I don't have to plus 1. So this one is automatic in meter already. Okay, so yeah, I'm done with this question. And I'm done with the whole paper actually. Yeah, this is the last question. So kertas peperiksaan tamat. Okay, so if you find my video useful, make sure you subscribe, and also subscribe if you want more videos like this. Okay, and if you want to gain early access to all my future trial videos, you can join my member. Okay, you can join my channel to gain early access. If you're interested, all the link is in the description. Okay, all right, I'll see you in the next video. So bye bye.